There we go. I don't know why my microphone does that. Yeah, does it actually play twice? Because it shows like listening to desktop audio like that bar also shows up when the music is playing. So I guess I'll have to like remove that from that scene so you guys don't have to hear it twice. The things we will be hearing are the game, and it's very loud, so we're just gonna slide those both down. Alright. Heaven Will Be Mine. Game that Lily really likes, so... Oh. I wasn't ready for options already. Alright. Select pilot. Saturn, Pluto, or Lunaterra. Faction, the Celestial Mechanics, Self-Ship String of Pearls. Celestial Mechanics reserve test pilots. Celestial Mechanics reserve test pilots. Test pilot. Celestial Mechanics wants to advance humanity to its next stage, and Saturn wants to flirt. There's no reason we can't do both. Combat style, button mashing, bedroom style? What? Huh? Okay. Both of those are pretty surprising stats to have, but one of them is a little more surprising than the other. Faction Cradle's Graces. Self-ship Kuruna Makula. Cradle's Graces Ultimate Weapon Pilot. Even if Earth has given up on a new life for humanity in space, Cradle's Graces hasn't. And Pluto will make sure that dreams come true. Like succulents, good girls, crushing, both kinds, and everyone dislikes is trying very hard to not have any. I like Pluto. Lunaterra. This is probably the worst thing I could say to anyone, but she kinda looks like a Steven Universe character. Faction Memorial Foundation, Self-Ship Mare or Mare Chrysium. Memorial Foundation Ace Pilot, fighting for the pilots to join the rest of humanity back on Earth before it's too late. Good at sniping, espionage, double-crossing, ghosting, bad at loving herself and everything else. I think because the options started on Saturn, we're gonna go with her first. That's loud. That's very loud. I need to get back to the options menu and turn that down. Provisional test pilot Saturn. Your clearance is level 1, testing and maintenance. Warning, potential damage to cockpit hardware detected. Warning, modifying or tampering with cockpit hardware or firmware is strictly prohibited. Saturn, what are you doing? Notice, bypass override accepted. Notice, launch attempt blocked. No handshake with base. Oh, hey Mercury. Not much. Warning, launch attempt blocked. Base handshake spoof detected. Just hacking the OS root of the ship self. You. Base handshake. Base handshake accepted. Trying to stop some brat from hijacking the prototype, apparently. Notice, emergency launch override initiated. Prepare for launch in T-minus 120 seconds. Calm down, Mercury. I'm just borrowing it. I'm not debating. I'm trying to save your life. The commander will be furious, and he won't just accept you stealing the Cornerstone project from the designated pilot. It's not a big deal. I'll have it back before you know it. This is privileged information from the designated pilot to launch right this second. This is privileged information, but the designated pilot has to launch right this second to get that machine back to Earth before they get here. This is the worst possible time. It couldn't be worse if you planned it. Everyone in the system suddenly somehow knows this base's location and they're heading here now. You know, Saturn? Kinda based. Notice, user launch override blocked. Denied by base. Oh, wow. Weird. How did that happen? Notice, user launch override blocked. Denied by base. I've been live less than 10 minutes and I'm already losing my ability to talk. User launch override blocked. Denied by base. You planned it, didn't you? You forgot an apostrophe. Remote shutdown in 30 seconds. No one can prove anything, especially about the designated pilot unconscious in Locker 27, Saturn-based. Oops. Looks like they're trying to kick me out, huh? Saturn, I know you're mad, but you can't just do this with... You can't do this when they catch you. It's going to be so bad. Can you please just act like you're just pranking them? There's still time. I will beg them. Won't be here since we have a busy schedule. Have a good day, Blitz. You're such a worry, or we've got hours to evacuate the capital ship. They'll never engage you this far from base, and I'll be distracting them. I have it all figured out. Except for how you're going to do anything at all to accomplish that with everyone trying to kill you. Base over. Remote shutdown in 20 seconds. Saturn. Try to have a little faith. Remote shutdown in 15 seconds. Saturn! Calm down, jeez. It doesn't take a genius to drag one of these things to the moon. Who cares which one of us does it? Or do you think I can't? Base override, remote shutdown in 10 seconds. That is not the issue. The commander cares, and you know better than anyone what he's like. Base override, remote shutdown in 9 seconds. I'm trying to figure out how to say that name. Iapetus is a fucking stupid name, jeez. Iapetus will just have to get used to it, lol. Base override, remote shutdown in 8 seconds. Whoa, it's Squiddy. Saturn, what are you trying to prove? Base override, remote shutdown in 7 seconds. 6 seconds. So much, Mercury. Remote shutdown in 5 seconds. But give me a little credit. Remote shutdown in 4 seconds. Remote shutdown in 3 seconds. I have much higher ambitions than just being a bitch. Error. IFF sequence missing. Notice. Base override cancelled. I almost got worried for a second. Lol. Welcome, assigned pilot. Full permissions granted. Saturn, I'm going to die and it will be your fault. Aw, come on. I'll get this to the moon safe and sound. And let the Severance project be complete. I'll be very good, maybe, and do everything I'm supposed to. Maybe. I know I'm the second choice, but they'd rather have that than nothing, right? Very generous of me, isn't it? They will not accept that. They will sort of have to, won't they? If Command didn't want me to steal one, they shouldn't have benched me indefinitely. Warning, emergency launch initiated. Let me know when he starts admitting it. Warning, hostile launch, catapult locks on. High risk of damage to your ship self. Jeez, now they're just being needy. Mercury, isn't it just the worst when someone who doesn't care anymore starts clinging just because you found someone new? Notice, prepping weapon systems. Notice, electrotoxin levels surging. Notice, weapons operational. So gross. Emergency launch initiated. What is this? Options. Turning you down, jeez. We're just gonna say that. I can't believe I really did it. I really, really did it. Everyone who said if I was good I'd get my chance again sure was a liar. I got away, and I've got a ship, and she's all mine. You're beautiful. I want to know everything about you. I miss this so much. Much better than the test machines when I was in the academy. She's beautiful. She's a wicked machine with a lot of secrets. And just as giddy as her pilot to be free, she's extremely responsive, eager to do everything Saturn wants. You're even reading the manual. You're even worth reading the manual for. What's in you? You're not hiding anything from me, are you? Saturn already knows everything in the manual and more. It's a very cagey document that doesn't do the ship justice and is certainly hiding something. There's plenty of information on how to use her electromagnetic poisons and how to cheat distance and gravity, and all of that is fun, but none of that tells her the first thing about how to be a ship. This is useless. Can this help diagnose anything when they don't know the first thing about being a ship? So wrong. Way too dry. That's not what it's like at all. It's a body that's also a soul. It means exactly what it is. That's why it's small, curved in wicked edges in some places, but curved in soft ways elsewhere. Sharp claws and deadly tail, cute enough to hug. Is the ship a cat girl? So perfectly suited for Saturn, one has to understand exactly why they wouldn't give it to her. Really perfect. It's better than a human body. That's reason enough to disobey everyone and run off with it, isn't it? Oh, speaking of, more threatening emails from Iapetus. Missing me already. I gave him a perfectly good deal. For someone who always goes on about mutually beneficial agreements or arrangements, he's really having trouble seeing the big picture. And the time it takes him to realize this, that I'm sure I can find something fun to do with this system. Time to test you out and see if it's really true. Can you give me everything I want, down to the last drop? It's January 1st, 1980, and the long and cold war where humanity united against its nemesis, an existential threat from beyond the stars, has been over for a long time. Since the 50s, we've been fighting a war against an existential threat that we cannot understand, cannot perceive, and is powerless against the technology of Earth. That is a pretty stupid sort of war to fight, isn't it? When there's enough of a mess down here to worry about. Humanity is already the undisputed authority of reality, and we have the physics to prove it. It's time to return to Earth, our home, the seat of the universe. Before Earth takes us back in pieces, let's go home with grace. On the first anniversary of the decommissioning of the International Space Program, we, Memorial Foundation, native sphere of existential safety, in agreement with our home planet's unanimous decision, declared there is no future for humanity in space. Let's come home. From the Return Resolution, Memorial Foundation Native Sphere, Existential Safety. It's January 1st, 1981. It's been 1 year since we declared independence from Memorial Foundation and the rest of Earth. The Cold War is officially over. And it feels so light without their gravity weighing us down. How can a tiny handful of colonies, terraformers, and schools hold out against the full authority of Earth? Because that shit doesn't fly past escape velocity. To power the ship elves we made to fight the Cold War, we made tidal resonators to bring gravity necessary for humans and culture to space, to survive in space. And that gravity is ours now, enough to make a new world free from the weight of Earth. If Memorial Foundation wants to kill the future, they'll have to come and take it from us. We're thankful for our cradle's grace, but we're not coming back. Don't do anything too cool while I'm gone. I might have to end early because I'm starting to lose my voice. It's January 25th, 1981. Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces have been having fun for a little over a year, and nothing is breaking the stalemate. Earth is getting impatient. They have good reason to believe that the existential threat posed by a divided humanity in space is much greater than any theoretically malevolent entity outside the native sphere. While the kids are fighting, Earth is getting ready to list the humans remaining in space as part of the the existential threat. And when they do, they'll send real weapons and end this war fought with plastic toys. Their justification? We're technically less than 100% human, just not human enough to be something else. It's hard to believe they're really onto us. It's time to make a drastic move. Bring our final piece, the prototype ship self string of pearls we made in the atmosphere of planet Cronus, which will never be Saturn, to the lunar gravity well where Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Grace are already headed. Whoever controls that place controls humans' access to space. We can be sure everything will be in place there. Earth or space, we are just short of 100% human. So let's see how much less than 100% we can get. Day 1. Oh. Welcome back, Tato. The strange gravity of the abandoned Daphnis lab. Saturn lies in wait for the looming threat of Pluto's mysterious ship, but what are they after? And will they get it? Moving in and out of the 6 planets' rings, Memorial Foundation days, Luna Terra plays cat and mouse with the renegade ship, the Saturn. Okay. Let's see, let's look at all this. Mail and alerts. Subject, truce ending effective immediately. Origin, native sphere mass communication. Author, Memorial Foundation existential safety. To all members of the former Memorial Foundation Native Sphere Existential Research Division, now known as Celestial Mechanics, this message serves as a formal acknowledgement that this branch has violated our trust and broken the provisions of the 1981 Memorial Foundation Consensus by violating Clause 3, the development of a variable gravity engine, and Clause 7, installation of a variable gravity engine into the ship's self-string of pearls. Celestial Mechanics will no longer be listed as part of Memorial Foundation. They will be formally relisted as an independent entity and considered a true existential threat by Memorial Foundation Native Sphere Existential Safety. We are still offering forgiveness, so please defect as soon as possible while the appeal grace period is still in effect. Please otherwise expect title retaliation for existential endangerment of human culture. From Halamede, Princess, Memorial Foundation Native Sphere Existential Safety. I'm gonna get tired of saying that really quick. Let's see. Your apparent promotion. It's Iapetus. Good job, Saturn. There's no point in being angry with you, so I'll have to choose to be proud of you instead. I'll refrain from having you sunk, since that's counterproductive to our intentions for that unit. You were a reserve candidate after all, so you'll do fine. Try not to make it too much of a pain in the ass for me. I'll have Mercury reassigned to you since he doesn't apparently have a say in the matter. How nostalgic. The two of you had so much potential. Well, he knows how to do his job at least. Do your best to not get the string of pearls sunk. I'll absolutely wash you out of the biological interface and reassign you permanently if we get the chance, so prove you're competent enough and neither of us will have wasted our time. God, you suck. I don't like you. Comms. Mercury. Wait, do I have to? Yeah, okay. Don't talk to me. You literally messaged me first, you nerd. OMG. Mercury. A boy in space on purpose. Consummate bridge bunny. Not responsible for Saturn. Insufferable horror creature. Forward all complaints to Mercury. Harpy. Come on, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What can I do to make it up to you? Give back the ship. Come on, I'm obviously not doing that. Please, I'm begging you, listen to reason. You have so much left to live for. Oh, Mercury, come on, we both know that's not true. What do you want from me? A list of girls who will shoot me out of orbit? God! Anyways, don't be a crybaby, I'm fine. Saturn, you are extremely wrong if you think that there's a chance I am at all worried about you. If you come back, all will be forgiven, but you need to bring it back. Mercury, it's fun playing, but I don't think you've been listening at all. Mercury, it's not that ship anymore, it's me. Mercury, you wouldn't ask me to give up my own self, would you? I'm sailing on a ship of myself now, and I'm not giving it up until gravity drags me back, kicking and screaming. I can't deal with you. Aw, thank you, baby. Kiss, kiss. You are a nightmare, and I'm giving up trying to save you from yourself. I love you. I just need to send this to someone. Just these 2 text bubbles. Let me just do that real quick. I hate you so much. You can't stay mad at me. I can't, and it's horrible, but my revenge will come because literally everyone else in the universe can. Oh darn. Guess I should have fun while it lasts. Saturn, if you defect, I cannot protect you. Iapetus is furious, and he's going to come personally for you if you don't come back. I told you I'd do all the missions. What, don't you believe me? Obviously not. Fair. Okay, let me ask this. Do you think I'd give up on the aversion project? Go on. Iapetus wanted us to fight for a new self beyond a ship self, but not even get a taste until the end? Fuck that. My house now. Tell me, which of the 2 of us you trust less, Mercury? Oh. Bye, I guess, Mercury. Alignment. Okay, so we were formerly with Memorial Foundation. And these are like the 2 opposing clans, I guess. Let's save again. What are we thinking? Was it Celestial Mechanics that we were part of? I think actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're Celestial Mechanics. Yeah, what mission are we feeling like? I'm thinking Joyride Killjoy. Joyride Killjoy? Hold on. Alright. Wait, what does delay mean? Okay, let's just go back. Let's launch. Please tell me how long you're going to be engaged in this. Stop being so loud. There we go. Please tell me how long you're going to be engaged in this. May I stress again, incredibly dangerous, giant waste of time. Until they start sending someone interesting after me, Mercury. The whole fleet would be after you if you had damaged the entire launch hangar when you stole that. Could they even take me out while I'm flying this thing? No, but it won't stop them from trying. Let me stress that this info packet is a gift purely to prevent your ship self from falling into enemy hands and not an indication of any sort of forgiveness. Let me worry about Iapetus, Mercury. He's gonna be a lot less grumpy when I clear the way for us in celestial mechanics to return to the native sphere. I've got it all figured out. You absolutely don't, but okay. Did you read the info packet? Ace Memorial Foundation pilot Luna Terra, in hot pursuit with escorts, planned an attack on the lab, arrived after you escaped. Do not engage under any circumstances. Boring. But this part was good. I don't expect you to control your impulses, but even given that you're just like that, she is the last person you should be trying to fight on purpose. Sounds like I should definitely fight her on purpose, right? I hate you. Oh, come on. Carrier's never going to make it out of the system if I don't. You don't know how to pilot your ship, and she's a veteran since the Cold War. You're going to get yourself captured and humiliated and the ship trashed. So you're saying there's no downside. Why are you doing this to me? And she's 6'1", huh? Your attention for detail is so useful sometimes. You're using me to cruise? Your taste is so awful. I hate you. Oops. Looks like one of her escorts is in range. Sorry, gotta go. Surprise is all I've got, you know. I wish Europa would stop sending me boys who can't control themselves. Having fun dismantling my escorts? With String of Pearl's fingers, Saturn carefully peels the mechanical musculature out of the poor ship's arms she's holding. A souvenir of the last of Luna Terra's escorts that she sent crying too easily back to their base. I'm trying to this art is hard to make sense of, or I'm just bad. It's still sparking and oozing, and Saturn wishes her ship had a mouth so it could suck it out like crab meat. Maybe it does have a mouth. The machine has many surprises the manual doesn't explain, and Saturn is still learning them. Though I suppose Europa's learned her lesson about sending me girls who can't control themselves. Really? Hey, that's interesting. Mind telling me more? Oh, she's a hacker too. How amusing. There's nothing too interesting on this comm frequency. Oh, you flatter me. Hey, what did that mean exactly? The part about girls who can't control themselves. I really want to hear more. It means back up that talk first. Or can you land a hit off the comms? Luna Terra's gravitational field focuses to a single point. Luna Terra isn't budging. She's been through much worse, and so has her ship, followed always by a thin trail of a bleeding wound she could never completely repair. The Mare Crisium is over 2 decades old, but Saturn can't even land a hit. It's regal and stiff, dressed in cold metallics, weathered and refurbished. The archetypal prototype for all of their ship cells. I just got a text. Who is that from? Who texted me? Phone turn on. Phone, why are you so slow? Oh, it's my college. They're asking if I'm ready for finals. The answer is no. The archetypal prototype for all of their ship cells, still going after all these years. Still furiously untouchable, the String of Pearls hasn't gone down no matter how much she's been rammed with that sphere, and she hasn't even nicked Luna Terra's ship once. Not bad at all for a joyride, but you can't get one hit in? Good thing you don't win by looking cool. No mercy for newbies? No. Lunatera puts a stake of solid light through the string of Pearl's legs, pins it to its own gauze wrapper. Doesn't hurt at all. The ship's metals begin molding and reforming around the moon completely. A ridiculous, unfair advantage. Saturn has no right to complain, but she still wants to. But she's trying to be cool. Everyone wants to, when in the quiet gleam of the always bleeding ship. It's a pretty amazing ship. Think it'll last? Either you're fighting for fun, because you're that reckless, or you're caught in your own containment wrapper and can't escape orbit yet. And you'd beat me for sure if I played around. I'm not done yet. That's not true. It's actually very difficult to move with a solid light bullet in your leg, but she's not going to let that stop her. Saturn is suddenly closer than she logically could be. Claws bubbling, but Lunatera effortlessly slips away and kicks Saturn's ship directly in the chest. Yeah, you're done. Containment wrapper is still stuck to you, so your movement's off. Doesn't seem to have stopped you that much. Right? It was so rude of them to try to stop me. Seems cruel to take it away when you're having so much fun with it. Same as you, right? Do I know you? Everyone knows Memorial Foundation's perfect ace. But do I know you? So I do, don't I? Maybe out of this thing it'll tell you. Why should I? Because you can't help yourself. Besides, don't you want a real fight? Can you promise it'll go different? I can promise it'll be more fun. You're asking me to totally abandon my duty to bring you back and do that instead? What, you won't? Legendary pilot who defected from Memorial Foundation, then double-crossed the rebels she abandoned them for, can't be opposed to a little fooling around with the enemy. I guess you do know me. Want to trust each other? Or is it more fun if we don't? This game likes giving me options, huh? Let's see. I kind of like Lunatera. Let's embarrass Saturn, though. Good at bad decisions. How's that? Did it hurt? It's just weird. It's weirder that it doesn't hurt. It's easier for Lunatera to cut through the malleable flesh of the string of pearls directly than untangle her from the wrapper. The flesh reforms quickly, so she has to work patiently. The string of pearls might be impossible to destroy. Even if Saturn can't land a hit, Lunatera feels like somehow she's the one who got lucky. If this just hurts you, you'd never be able to fight. Your brain is giving you more nuanced information. You're very sensitive. Lucky. You'll get used to it. If you are serious about next time, think of yourself as something a little bigger. I like that. Being big. I'm glad I trusted you. Hi, Jasper. Stop shaking then. Or ask me to go easier. Just a little easier. Of course. Do you remember me yet? I want you to remember the name of at least some of the girls you made out with in supply closets. Your face. Just kidding. Sorry, it was worth it. You weren't kidding about still being dangerous. Every pilot knows you. By both of your reputations. You're definitely Saturn, because no one hated me as much as you. And now I'm curious why you don't anymore. If I tell you, you'll owe me extra. So save it for next time you catch me. Well, I'll just have to catch you again quick. All free. Now, get out before someone catches us. Day 2. Whoa. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like slightly meshed toward Memorial Foundation. Mercury, listen, it's an emergency. I'm sorry about everything, but it's important. You have to tell Commander that I'm getting so laid. I'm logging off. Bye. I was not fooled for even a second that this would be useful. Really? Not even for a second. I no longer experience hope as a concept. You freed me from it. Oh, stop, I'm blushing. I love Saturn so much. I'm also just gonna take like a screen cap of this. Gotta send this to a different friend. What do you want from me, Saturn? Do you know any discreet places to make out in on Aries? Goodbye, Saturn! Also, here's the test output today. Saturn, goodbye! Aren't you gonna read me the data analysis? If it is indeed data you're sending this time and not just nudes, that is rude. I always ask before I send them to you. I don't mind acting as the official art director of Saturn's nudes, since you need it so badly, and it's substantially less tedious than data analysis. But if you were as punctual about sending data as cockpit selfies, I would have a lot more data to report. Why are you so incredulous all the time? You stole the prototype, might I remind you? You can't just continue the field testing as if nothing happened. Why not? Because why would you do anything you didn't want to? What are you planning? Ah, fine. You've been dying for it anyway. Cool, how'd I do? This is not bad. It's pretty useful. He typed through tears. Don't rub it in. Can't believe your ship self's expanded so much already. What have you been doing with it? I think I have been hinting very clearly how. I instantly regret this question. You're supposed to test the prototype in combat. Same difference. Can't believe we invented a ship to get into trouble and didn't think. Oh, Saturn is the obvious choice for this. We both know why. You were an even more obvious choice than me. Like Iapetus for throwing us both out like trash. Come on, aren't you a little happy to see a little havoc in his perfect garden? I'll be looking forward to you collecting new data. Attaboy. Mercury is the token straight friend. Have a good day at work, Jasper, by the way. Alright, we got two new emails. Pilot candidate 007 Mercury interviews. Origin, Memorial Foundation, Celestial Mechanics, extracted, author, Generation 3, pilot, insane. I'm scared to open this because this might be her nudes. It is not. Oh, it's Mercury's interviews, okay. Don't worry, it's just a checkup. Historically untrustworthy scenario. It's just questions, I promise. It's not really a great way to set my mind at ease. Let's just answer the questions, okay, wise guy? Fine. Have you experienced a sense of vertigo or loss of balance for a period lasting more than 2 minutes in the last month? No. Have your eating habits changed at all recently? No. No. Work with me, please, Mercury. Why? You work with me. If I absolutely promise neither I nor anyone else will do anything at all to stop you from being exactly who you want or from whatever changes you need, will you at least answer my questions? Sometimes. Maybe. Okay, that's good enough for me. Just curious if it's a side effect of life in space, or the educational programming of Dr. Nix, Or in reference to the behavior of Iapetus? No, that's backwards. Everyone else seems to get to do whatever they want without limited space. Why is it weird when I do it? We want to test the effect of space alone, so self-induced changes have to be controlled for. Don't ask what's in my endocrine system. It's my endocrine system. Fine, it's testosterone and I put it there because I wanted it there. Is that enough? Oh, I guess that is what I needed to know. I promise not to ask me about it again. I'll give you all the data I cataloged about the changes. Okay, I get it. Starting to get it. Stop treating me like a girl, and I know is Mercury trans? Base? Recommended tactics extracted from Narrate OOS. Author Shipself String of Pearls documentation. The String of Pearls is configured for specific outward expressions of gravity, tidal forces. The dissonant rhythm of this reactor makes peaceful tidal communication risky and difficult. Be cautious despite the range of penetration this unit is capable of. The electromagnetic conductors have liquefied the electrical energy into a corrupting material, a form of theoretical matter that should be used as the primary engagement tool. As a seducer-saboteur model, the unit's functions are inherently insidious. Rather than armor, the plastics are infinitely malleable and regenerate. It is safer to take damage head-on as an opportunity to infect rather than avoid, but the unit can be contained, restrained, and impeded physically and tidally. Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Okay, I'm back. Let's go select a mission. Oh, I guess we're gonna go do Saturn Return. In the strange gravity of the abandoned Daphnis lab, Saturn lies in wait for the looming threat of Pluto's mysterious ship. But what are they after? Will they get it? What do you mean I can feel her presence? Please do not try to sound that cool. I can feel her presence. Everyone can feel her presence. I can feel it right now. How could you possibly ignore something like that? Shut up. I mean, I can feel it physically. Oh, wait, like how? Like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. It's like I'm spinning upside down and can't stop. Are you sure you haven't somehow concussed yourself or given yourself gravity sickness from all the damage you managed to inflict on yourself in the past 12 hours? Yes, and it's on top of all of that, and also, shut up! String of Pearls is feeding me sensory information on the direct line. I'm a human being with 5 senses, and she's trying to cram a dozen more into me. By direct line, you are in fact talking about the extremely creepy physical interface connection between you and String of Pearls, correct? It really, really is, right? It's truly incredible how we agree about everything and still feel the opposite about it. This is why you keep hesitating before giving me intel. Yes, because you're going to do the opposite of what you should do with it. But I also can't not tell you because you might die, so running support for you is an incredibly anxiety-inducing affair. It must be hard. Thank you for acknowledging it. So you can tell me what's after me? You've already figured it out, haven't you? But yes, that is Cradle's Grace's masterwork. Celestial Mechanics traded the knowledge for how to finish String of Pearls in exchange for what they needed to finish the Crude Macula. It would be pretty funny if they got us this way in the end. It's headed directly to the lab. We've already evacuated on the capital ship, but you are its highest priority. Should I play bait? If anything, it's more important for you to get back to the native sphere first. In order for us to make contact, we need the String of Pearls. We believe if you hide in the abandoned Daphnis lab, you can use the decaying gravity furnace for cover. Yeah, that's sensible. The bait sounds like a lot more fun, you know? Really? Come on, Yaptis must think their pilot is a real idiot if she's gonna waste her time on a wild goose chase like that. He wouldn't just sacrifice you like that, he would. There must be backups for making contact. Just because I'm the easiest option doesn't mean I'm the only one. He's testing to see if I'm worth investing in or if I'm just gonna get myself killed. Why run? Why not have it out with her? But she's thinking the same thing too. Be careful, Saturn. If you can tell what they're thinking, they can tell what you're thinking. Please, if I could really do something like that, they wouldn't have kicked me out of the pilots. Then how do you know the pilot's a she? Because boys can't pilot? Oh, hold on. Drink time again. Daphnis, the tiny shepherd moon, so small it barely earns the name, tumbles through the Keller Gap, roughly the ring of the planet it orbits. It houses the last official laboratory of Earth's decommissioned space program, training ground of failures like Saturn and special girls like Pluto. Saturn remembers it feeling cramped, anxious, and scary. No, wait, Pluto remembers it that way. Saturn remembers when it used to feel so special to be chosen, a candidate for the last generation of pilots. But didn't Pluto feel that way too? Sometimes two things are true. In this place, gravity is quietly degenerating, and distances are becoming ambiguous, between past, present, between me and you. The Daphnis lab seems smaller to Saturn now, though not as tiny as it feels to Pluto, and that's obvious. No longer people-sized, she tears through it like worms in an apple. But there's a much bigger worm here, and she doesn't know anymore if this was a good idea. What was a good idea? Saturn doesn't have any ideas. She's just trying to hide. No, there's no place where you cannot be felt by me. Alert, tidal resonance IFF confirms enemy. Warning, gravitational hazard, danger, pressure exceeding safe range. I know, it's extremely exciting, stop making me so nervous. Super massive. small enough to hide in this complex, but with a dual reactor denser than the entire moon compressed into the head of a pin. An hour ago, Saturn felt the gravitational pull of something so big and so close, and so powerful the interior of her cockpit creaked with the pressure, and her head, heart, and eyes welled up with tears. Something that couldn't be anyone other than Pluto. Cool, she must be pretty big, huh? So why is she so hard to find? Saturn has no idea. Why do I have the feeling someone's laughing at me? No one is laughing at Saturn. The lab's been abandoned for years. But Pluto, wherever she is, giggles. Not in a mean way. She really does think it's cute. I haven't thought about Pluto in a long time. Oh man, it would be funny if she wasn't that monster. Well, now someone's laughing at Saturn. Hey, I know someone's here. Yeah, it's the narrator. I can feel you listening, but I can hear you too. And I can catch you. Not the only one who could fuck with the narrative. I don't want to die. So let's just try to escape. Opens futures, closing pasts. It's easiest to not get caught if you don't care about catching anything. It's just knowing there isn't a difference, and focusing deeper, and focusing deeper. The real celestial mechanics, the interactions of bodies in space via the forces of gravity, the weight of mass and culture. Explained by the story behind them? That's just science. Your own gravity, reach out and pull. Good girl! You know just what to do. Do you like what you caught? The Krun towers over Saturn. Pluto's ship is so big it barely fits in the lab complex, but it's only a speck compared to how big it feels. Massive enough to warp local space-time, humming and vibrating with nebula dust, and absolutely effortlessly gentle. Without Pluto's most delicate touch, the Krun would have destroyed Saturn and the whole complex without even trying. How much do you trust it? I knew you'd be right behind me or something. If you did, how come you're not facing this way? I'm an idiot, I guess. Come a long way just to be an idiot. You must know exactly what the ship can do, right? Did you come to fight me on purpose? It's really brave and really cute. You can touch me, I can touch you. So I'm not getting close. You came all this way not even to fight? That's not cute at all. But it's smart. Hey, don't underestimate me. I'm scary. You think, maybe I believe you. Cute things can also be scary. I'm curious now. I was worried you were going to waste your chance, smugging your new machine, but you're pretty clever. You want to talk without fighting? If you're good. Otherwise, I'll bite. So, what did you want to talk about? As Cradle's Grace's glittering psychic death machine, you definitely have more important things that to go out of your way to bully me for no reason, right? Oh, that's right. That man and the fleet are escaping, aren't they? Hope you don't mind falling for this trap. Trap? You? Silly. I know you're more important than that. More than catching the rest of the Celestial Mechanics fleet? I knew this would be fun, and you knew it too. I'm absolutely delighted about you doing that, just to be clear, so you don't have to read my mind and roast me about it. I can't read minds. You know that's not how it works. But I also don't need to. To know that. But I did want to know how the biggest overachiever of my juniors turned into such a bad girl. If you really remembered me, you'd remember I wasn't ever good. I do remember you. Even if you're not that good at being bad. Do you know what you're doing? With that machine that's so dangerous we don't even want to find out what it does? I think you answered your own question about why I'm keeping it. Are you gonna stop me then? But you don't want to. Hey, stop. Don't pry into me. If you're pitying me, I'll make you regret it. Not all of us come out perfect like you. Some of us get thrown out before they see any use at all. I won't pity you. I really would have torn this machine apart, but now that I'm here, gifted little mutant to gifted little mutant, I can't bear to. Because some of us just haven't been thrown out yet. Lab-grown girls like us should stick together. I might still make you regret it. Winning isn't my most important task. It's not yours either. Are you sure about that? You're not who I'm worried about. It's only your boss I can't forgive. Oh, I love hearing that. Tell me more. I'm getting a crush already. Regretting it now? Don't worry. There's nothing you can make me regret. Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. There will never be a planet Mars. That's the name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter Aries. But like the stringy, inedible weeds that grow out when nothing else does, Cradle's Grace is dug in, and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked, the terraforming engines are broken, the gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist. It's an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship self can't keep you alive alone forever. Even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NSES fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left, and why we can't get them out. What? Why don't I go home too? And leave all those idiots to just fucking die on a rock? What do you think we're doing this for? External communication sent on August 31st, 1978 by Memorial Foundation troops. Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirement for human life. Life is just the start anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions in humans get made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true. And even about what's human and what's not. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on Earth is in fact not a human. It's a pretty usual thing for humans to do. No differences of any kind need to exist. We'll just be aliens, and they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here, for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up with a gravity well, and then we get to decide. Internal communication sent on January 25th, 1981 by Cradle Grace's Irregulars. It's morning on Aries, but what's time and space? If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out of the canyons on Mars, where Cradle's Graces and Memorial Foundations are bickering. Hold the city ruins against invading troops and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me, I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock. But Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. No one controls it before the deadline is up. Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. We finally have something alien in space. Private communication sent on January 26, 1981 by a celestial mechanics researcher. Day 3. Perfectly understandable statement right there. Error. Mission parameters not detected. Mission results needed for gravitational slingshot permissions. Navigation shortlist not found. Manual inject / mission results.txt. Mission parameters found. All results perfect and amazing. Wow, thank you, Saturn. Flight path generating. Fleet path Cronus. Orbit refuel on planet Aries. Lagrange colony pass. Classified operation. Earth's moon. New standing orders coming in. Aries. Guard celestial mechanics. Fleet refueling on Aries oxygen ocean. Aries, stay out of trouble and do not engage Memorial Foundation's troops on patrolling in immediate vicinity. Accept orders? No. Error cannot proceed. Manual inject. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate longitude Aries. So we have 12% with celestial mechanics. But like I don't see like any warping in the mesh there. Oh, it's Mercury. Be careful today. I'm never careful any day, so I'm serious this time. Iapetus is in the field today. I don't know where he's fighting, but you should be careful. Jeez, you worry too much. Obviously because you give me so much to worry about. I mean, are you really worried? Ship self is actually not that scary. Not as scary as mine. As if that's a thing I was worried about. What then? Oh, ew, God, I'm not even thinking about letting our mutual ex touch me. I won't even fight him. I'll curb him the second his tide so much as tremble against my plane. Why would you worry? I don't even slightly hate him less than you do. There's no possible way you hate him more than I do, but that's not the issue. That's never the issue with him. Hating him hasn't made him any easier to deal with. We were kids, though. We're older and wiser now. Well, now? Ha ha ha. At least you are, Mercury. Hardly. Or I would be telling you. You remember how he'd just casually linger his fingers a second too long on your shoulder? In front of everyone? Ugh, yeah, it was so gross. It was so gross. I loved the attention every time. It made me so smug. I loved it. It was gross. I hate him. Do you love yourself enough to not fall for it again? I definitely hate him enough to not fall for it again. Do you? No, obviously. Stone Celestial Mechanics. How do you think I feel? You're soaring. You've got a stupid idiot who loves you. And you get to do research and never have to deal with him again. And with the ship self, we'll have the future. And no matter what, I'll make sure he won't. Subject, RE. Celestial Mechanics, Fleet Main, Misfire Transmission. Author, Junk Data Error. Oh my god, sorry for getting back to you so late, but I was in the middle of a meeting. My phone buzzed so much the director asked me if I needed to take a call. I swear you do this on purpose. I don't think you really need feedback on your nudes that quickly, even though they're really, really important to me, and I can't stop thinking about them or getting any of my work done, and my presentation suffered greatly from my lack of focus. I expect you're prepared for a little payback, and after I sent you my schedule so this would happen again, even. You wouldn't have happened to ask me for my meeting time so you could send those to me at the worst possible moment, would you? I already know the answer to that, so why don't you tell me this? Why can I never get enough of you? I don't know who that is. Oh, my throat dying. I know this is a semi-short game. Actually, let me double check that before I stick my foot in my mouth. It says it takes about 2.5 hours to play the main story. Uh, 5 hours for the main and side stories, 7 hours for the completionist. Overall, about 5.5 hours. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk that long. We'll have to probably break this up. But I'd like to finish at least Saturn's story today. Maybe we can do Lunaterra and Pluto, like, on their own. Let's see, 400... MM Kiss. Memorial Foundation deploys a certain sniper to stop escape and resupply routes to the resisting Celestial Mechanics fleet. All Sardines do stay out of trouble, but what's the chance of that? Deep Dive. The Oxygen Ocean serves as both fuel yard and terraforming engine for planet Ares, and it's the perfect hiding place for the migrating Celestial Mechanics fleet. But deep down, something is reaching up for them. Let's see. I think Memorial Foundation was Lunaterra. I like her the most so far. So I want to go this one. My throat. My poor throat. I wanted to record a video later today, but that might not be able to happen if I just talk. No, go ahead, take your time. We're not dying yet or anything. No, fighting officially on Ares is a lot less fun than I was promised it would be. It's real work, Saturn. I thought that's what all of that getting back on our good side was about. You shouldn't have done such a good job of hiding in the Oxygen Ocean, man. You could maybe stage an attack from the Olympus ruins, but not even Cradle's Graces is precious enough to defend them. Memorial Foundation is thorough enough to watch over it. Of course, only they would be that annoying. There's recent activity there, and they want an investigation. They're just being paranoid. That's a stupid plan, and they're only sending someone there to waste their time chancing we're done. Or baiting us. They really send their ace if that was the case. Wait, that old Memorial Foundation warhorse you mean? Why didn't you tell me the most important part first? Coordinates now, please. Saturn, I really hope you're not actually... Yeah, I'm feeling like, Commander's right actually. That area really needs some thorough investigation. Just to be sure. What's with the sudden enthusiasm? It's really not... No, wait, that's exactly like you. When you said you fought off the Mare Chrysium pilot, what were you actually doing? I don't know what you're talking about, Mercury. I was so dutiful and brought this back in one piece, so that means I won. So don't worry about it. Why are you like this? I like Lunaterra. Balance shifts because Lunaterra could hold still and Saturn couldn't. Correct for gravity, it's unsettlingly weak. Correct for the cold blue starry daylight of the fragile Ares atmosphere. Sniping from the remains of a capital spire is like being just an eye and a trigger finger. A thrilling place for Lunaterra to fight. Correct for wind, it's skittish and powerless. Correct for gravity, there's still too much of it. Correct for the nuisances of this infant planet that will never be. Skirting along the abandoned roads of the city that never was is like being an exposed nerve, a thrilling place for Saturn to fight. I see you. Lunaterra squeezes the trigger for the 17th time. The cover couldn't protect String of Pearls from Lunaterra's eyes, and it sure can't protect her from her trigger finger. Engage reactor. And initiate inertial control. The slope loops right by Saturn, and that's the 7 times she's dodged. The 4 shrinking holes in her chassis, marching closer to the String of Pearl's heart, mark what happens when she doesn't. Getting shot still sucks. Saturn isn't used to it. That one was so close. That was really, really, really close. Tell me I'm getting better, right? No way, it's just luck. I've gone from getting hit all the time to getting hit half the time. It's better, but what you want is to be hit none of the time. Don't tell me what I want. Maybe I love being shot. You wouldn't be the first. Wow, weird. You must fight some really problematic people. Like someone named Saturn. That'd be weird, though. The pilots find interesting ways to pass the time. I kind of get the appeal. What else is there to do? If you didn't love getting shot so much, you wouldn't run around stay shooting each other. That's true. Why did you come here to fight? That's true. Why did you come here? There's nothing left to fight over in Aries for anyone. Give me one thing to do more fun than look demure and get shot at. Someone has to do the shooting. That tells me what position you favor, but it doesn't answer my question. I'm taking evasive maneuvers. If I dodge the next one, answer my question. I won't answer the first one, but I'll answer a different one. If you dodge. Did I accidentally skip one? No. Saturn gets so quiet. She gets so still, yet her heart is thumping. Her reactor is thrumming with resonance. It's obvious Lunaterra is sniping her from the tower, the city's last and tallest building. But now she suddenly isn't so sure. She isn't sure if she knows where Lunaterra is, or if she knows anything about her at all. What did her face look like again? Hit. It's not that Saturn wasn't on the ready. She's baiting. She knows exactly what she's doing. Lunaterra just guessed for the 1/2 second where Saturn wasn't ready and slipped her solid light bullet in that space. The shot lands right in her throat. For a moment, Saturn's just, I'm dead. But she's not. And she hurts so bad she wants to die. But she's just mistaking the very different things the string of pearls feels instead of that. Ah! It's not really pain, but a feeling so overwhelming it shuts Saturn down like pain would. It's fascinating, full of information. Lunaterra, you're not doing very good at convincing me to not try and get shot. I've heard that before too. You sure are having fun. What makes you think that? Wanna know how I know? When correcting for gravity, the impression you leave in space feels a little for a second like, well, someone might say it's an eye roll, but I think it's kind of a giggle too. Maybe that counts as a hit. You don't win cat and mouse games by batting every time a head pokes out. Except somehow you do. You're good at making people not follow their own better instincts. You shouldn't be getting hit. You shouldn't be getting me to teach you to fight fair. You do much better like this. Oh, thank you. I don't fight fair because I have absolutely no idea how to fight. But this is why I hate you, Lunaterra. You just don't get it. I want to beat you at something you're good at. You're really tough. Not your sniping, which can't stop me at all, but how you're totally impenetrable. You're doing something tricky. What are you doing? Still my question. My hit, that's the rules. Why are you here? Firstly, because I refuse to ever be bored, just like you. Second, wiping that smug expression off your face is my deepest desire, so teach me how to weave through your fire and sink my claws in you. What's the third reason? Not telling. I already gave you one for free. Nice dodge. My question then. Dodge a real one first. Lunaterra fires and Saturn leaps forward, directly into it. The bullet misses, her tail sparks, and she thrusts through the atmosphere. How's that? Good work. But you have to keep it up. Lunaterra lands a bullet through her legs and Saturn crumbles. But the moment her limbs heal, Saturn leaps again. She's ready for the next bullets, but not the one behind it. But that one's a clean shot right through her, no stopping power. That one's a clean shot right through her, no stopping power at all. And she leaps through again, and is gone in the rubble before Lunaterra can land another shot. Is that more dodges or more hits? Counterpoint. Here's my opinion on getting shot so far. It fills my brain with overwhelming information, barely stops me from doing anything at all because I'm in control of an impossible space war machine. So, can you actually say you've really hit me? Flawed argument, really disappointing, and I was expecting a lot better. Am I losing? Can I ever lose no matter how much you shoot me? I don't think so. I don't actually think so. This machine is never going to lose. You can pin me down. You might be so much better than me that I couldn't beat you in a million years, but I will keep trying and beat you with dumb luck. Maybe that is true. You never hit me. Why are you here? Did you know that there's a theory that ship cells can't actually be destroyed? You can break as much of them as you want, but the gravity engine will always pull it back into shape. As long as you're sufficiently tenacious, you can survive anything and try again until you get it right. So you do get what this machine is for. My least favorite person in the world came up with that theory, and this is the ship self to test it. So naturally, I would know all about it. But it's true that no one has died. That's why they get to say that there's still no war in space. Dodging my question again? But in practice, wrecking a ship's self until both the pilot and the ship give up is indistinguishable. Because you can become so broken, continuing is impossible. And if they can't kill you, you can be changed. You think you can do that to me? Or is that what you want to have happen to you? I have. To people who have much more fun with this than you do. Ha! This don't call it a war is nothing but play fighting. All it takes is someone not playing along to ruin it all. Solid light slug passes so close to Saturn's head that the heat chars her face black. But it's not a hit. She's incremented to the left 0.5 seconds before impact. Oh, you are getting better. It's definitely my question now. I'm still answering. Oops, I did not mean to skip that. I'm so glad that there's a log here. I'm still answering. That theory has not been disproven. It's more than likely true, but this is something you should know first. Your body can't be killed or destroyed, but it can be changed. When you are hit, truly hit, you're bent into a different kind of shape, and through that you can change. I think you should ask yourself if you're ready for that before you say you want to play with me for real. This game looks gay in a good way. It is. The reason that I was interested in this was because of my friend who said this game is the trans lesbian simulator. And that's just perfect for me. I don't think I've met a single straight character in this game. Saturn, the girl on the left, is like confirmed either gay or like formerly bi, but mainly gay now. See it in the art style from a mile away. Yeah, that's also fair. Yeah. I had a train of thought. It takes one to know one. Yeah. I think you should ask yourself if you're ready for that before you want to play with me for real. Speaking from experience, that always bleeding wound on your ship's self. It's not always a bad thing to change. Last one. If you can't dodge this, I don't think you're ready. Once again, Saturn feels Lunaterra slipping away. She's not here. She's not anywhere. She never was. Once again, it's my hit. Electricity explodes from the target point and connects back to the origin. It starts from where Lunaterra is, and when it connects back to Saturn, fast as light, the course correction defines the pathway retroactively. Wow. I'm an idiot. This is great. You're not supposed to be ecstatic about someone getting the best of you. That's my move. Sorry, but I was condescending before. Next time we fight, it'll be for real. What if I don't want to fight? Then that'll be real too. Day 4. I'm gonna go refill my water bottle before we do any of the day 4 stuff. I did not think that playing a visual novel for under an hour and a half would kill my throat as badly as it has, but yeah. Alright, okay, I'm back. There were also waffles upstairs, so I grabbed one for myself. Alright, let's see what Mercury has to say. The captain told me to thank you for the data stream. You're very welcome. Do you have new results for me? Yes, I'll encrypt them. T, you're the best. I guess there's no point in asking which one then for? How afraid should I be? I'm just trying to fulfill our mission, Mercury. You know that. I'm going to tell him you are as inscrutable and petulant as ever. Aw, please, I don't want your hubby to hate me. Why do you always call Ganymede the captain anyway? Because some of us have a sense of discretion. Aw, Captain's pet is so well behaved. You're one to talk, Saturn. You're going to end up at the pound one of these days if you go through any more superior officers. No, it's cute that you both tidily locked that quick. You're making all the lesbians jealous. Then act like it, Saturn. I will not apologize for locking it down. I've had my fill of being a pet. I don't really want to be a pet either. Maybe you are learning to love yourself. What I'd like is to be a... Saturn! That's even worse. No, it's better. Plastic and metal can be molded into any kind of shape. You can smooth over and change whatever you want. You only have to accept the interface you're designed for. A toy never gets to do anything. Just sits there looking pretty. Mercury, what do you think I want? Don't you love how our ship self-evokes so much, just by being plastic in the silhouette of a human? These beam weapons are my fingertips. This chassis is my tits. But they're also beam weapons and an impenetrable chassis. They can shred the plastic all they want, but they can't touch me. Plastic can't get hurt. But you still can be, don't forget. People fawn over objects they worship. I want to be the product they obsess over. Thought you were tired of getting thrown away. I'm not for individual retail sale. Look, don't touch. One of a kind, not sold in stores. I'd like to imagine that, like, whenever the channel is closed, it's just Mercury being pissed as hell. Or, like, some higher up being like, alright, that's enough. Subject, Annual Academy Student Rating, Colony Server, Force Extraction, Memorial Foundation, Space Academy Archives. I won't rate them, they are still learning. Given this, Halamede is underperforming based on the expectations that you set out for her. I told you the projections were completely divorced from reality, repeatedly, for this very reason. The authority she may have wielded on Earth means nothing up here. I should add, because I know you will forget it as early as convenient, that she is performing very highly compared to her peer group in the specific areas that you seem to consider so highly. Yes, even compared to your Generation 1 aces. She has the potential to surpass them, so stop asking if she has surpassed the top one yet. I'd prefer to keep those two as separate as possible for interpersonal reasons. Halamede is too competitive and easily impressed to not make me worry about placing her in close contact with the number 1 ace. Your attempts to put those two in the same room has not gone unnoticed by me. Do you just love drama, Iapetus? Or is there something else you believe is more important than the health of our pilots? Subject, Nick's final resignation. Memorial Foundation, Evidence Locker, Special Counsel for the Prosecution of Dr. Nix. Dr. Nix, what did you do? In these moments, nothing is more painful than being patronized, but you couldn't even spare me that. I can't understand why you thought me to be that naive, though. I really did know. They thought a world where the children were together and free, could write their own futures, sounded wonderful. We didn't even get close for them to understand that's not what they wanted. I knew it from the start. I regret only that I didn't get further before they noticed. You're asking for my resignation, but there's nowhere else for me to go. There's nowhere else for those children to go either. I won't let you have them, and I won't let you crush them back to their earthly shapes. What you are asking instead is for me to declare war, so I will do so. And we will see if Earth's tides are truly powerful enough to crush the new humanity you rejected. Next. Let me check something real quick. Okay, deep dive. What was this? The oxygen ocean serves as both fuel yard and terraforming engine for the planet Ares, and it's the perfect hiding place for the migrating celestial machines fleet. But deep down, something is reaching out for them. I love how all of these missions have begun with Mercury just saying, "Saturn, what are you doing?" I love Mercury. He's great. Please ignore me opening my drink. Disabling all comms and the diving supports, and oh, you're still here? I thought I cut this channel too. Well, I should go ahead and shut it. Don't you dare cut me off. You can listen if you promise not to whine or stop me. I will do no such thing, and you cannot make a deal with me. I'm simply stating a fact, not making an argument. Just why, Saturn? Why are you such an incorrigible, petulant nightmare? After you were probationally forgiven for doing a very good job, not getting the string of pearls ruined or captured, and Command even decided to give you the job of sparking the gravity engine that will take our fleet back to the native sphere. I would think you wouldn't be so into pressing your luck recklessly. But everyone except you is so annoying. They're annoying because whatever is causing the tidal interference from the bottom of the oxygen ocean is almost certainly that Cradle's Grace's weapon, and they have no reason to believe you're going to be loyal. Every single second of the day, you are horrid and undisciplined, and your brief periods of obedience only seem to exist to throw everyone off later. I mean, if you want me to cover for you, you have to play along a little. Why are you like this? Years of encouragement and grooming, followed by abandonment and neglect. You know that. Yeah, no, this is another just screen cap mode. We're just gonna. Same as you. And same for that pilot drafter too. Is that why? In a different way, but I think so. Enemy or not, I want to talk. I think I'm getting somewhere. And I'm not going to talk if you're all interfering. What if she doesn't want to just talk? Then you'll really appreciate me cutting the cables before she pulls all of you down there with me. Why is it so important anyway? You'll just jeopardize the whole operation for that? What? You don't think I have my own cunning master plan? It's way better than his. Supposedly, nothing can stop the Queen Makula. It's better to find out if that's true sooner than later. Fight her or talk. Which is it? How are they any different? Anyways, don't worry when the connection accidentally breaks. I'll be fine, promise. And you will be too. I'm not super on board with the Cradle's Graces, but that's because the pretty lady hasn't really done her best at seducing me yet. So we're just gonna stick with celestial machines for these ones, or celestial mechanics. The balance shifts because Pluto tugs and Saturn yields. The oxygen ocean is a peaceful place because everything about it destroys everything else. You can enjoy complete privacy under the curtain of oxygen steam. Drink all the fuel and air you want, and no vessel can survive the temperature and pressure conditions below. You can float as long as you want or until your hull turns brittle and breaks, or your organic components oxidize and explode. Celestial Mechanics has covered their wayward pilots' machines in temporary armor layers to seal out the unknown interference of gravity and seeping oxygen. The additional temporary armor layers might not be necessary, but they also might be. The Celestial Mechanics fleet tenders lower the string of pearls in slowly, just to make absolutely sure. It feels wonderfully cold, like a spare blanket taken from the attic in the winter. Pluto is there, deep down, and when Saturn slips in, she feels the ripples, as if they were in opposite ends of the same, perfectly still pool. The feeling is wonderful. Saturn's surprised that's true. How do you know that? Wait, who is you? How do I know what? Saturn, who are you talking to? We're asking for confirmation to lower you. Yeah, I've been ready. Sorry, I got distracted. You must be if you're apologizing. There's someone down there. She's speaking to me. No, she's trying to eat me alive. Or maybe it's really hard to tell the difference. Awesome. It's familiar. I'm so stoked. Take me down. The ocean boils wherever she touches it, even with the external equipment. There's no way to rely on sight, and the paramagnetic influence is too erratic for sensors to process. She can only feel her way, for both of them. The cable to your left is extremely important. It's the only way we have of communicating and monitoring your situation. Aha. So you'll need to be extremely careful with it. Are you listening? Yes, but not to you. Shh. There's definitely someone here. Lower me. It's reaching out. Saturn feels funny. Something's not quite right. Like something's watching her. It's like someone's watching me. But it's also not like someone's watching me. It's like something's watching her, but something isn't watching her. It's touching me. Something is touching Saturn. Its hands see her, and they also speak. It's saying something. The ocean ripples with boredom. It's really boring down here. But what else is Pluto going to do? Some girls get stuck with the worst jobs. But I gotta do it. With nothing to do but send insinuations through the narration. So are you coming or what? I've got her again. Tidal spike detected. Mass gravity alert. Lower me further. Saturn, we're pulling you out. No, not just yet. Hi Saturn. Hi Mercury. Sorry, I'm borrowing her for a little bit. Saturn's cockpit floods with alarm lights and an imminent high-intensity gravity element, but it's too late. String of Pearls discharges its electromagnetic field and delicately breaks off the winch. Saturn, what are you? The String of Pearls cleanly slices off the left communication wire and the pulley system. The silence of the oxygen ocean reminds her of a sensory deprivation tank. I want to try one of those. They seem really interesting. What a good girl. Hey, don't praise me like that. I wanted to speak to you again. Damn it, I got both wires. Even ship-to-ship comms are down. Saturn? Can you hear me? Would you hear me if I spoke with the ship? It's been such a long time since anyone could hear it. Pluto's tidal reactor pulses slowly. The throne feels like it's coming from everywhere. Oh, I get it. You want to talk with gravity? Well, I'm not some miracle child, even though they tried very hard to make me as good as you. Saturn's reactor, an anxious little bop, is getting just so fed up with this. It's frustrating to not be understood. But you know what that's like? You don't know how much I know. But I believe in you. If Saturn moves too much, she might forget what direction up is. The sensory deprivation of the ocean takes everything away. She has to remember that's not true. I don't believe you, but I'm trying. Oh, she's trying. Of course I'm trying. Come on, where am I? I hate people playing hard to get. I believe in you, but you gotta work for it. I can't do it. Sorry, but I'm cheating. String of pearls electrotoxin shoots through the ocean like a bolt of lightning. It reaches out because it's attracted to you. It seeks the path of least resistance, looking for something that wants to respond. What it really does is run along the boundaries, theoretical and real. There's a place where the boundary between one thing and another is weakest, and it runs along the boundary until it finds it, and then it connects the two. Why is she doing that? Oh, it's just what you're used to. Good at seeing weak spots. I've got a lot. Can you find them? You can do it if you try. Maybe you need a little push. It's like there's nothing, not a single crack. Don't say you're not perfect. Don't make me do all the work. Huh? The pressure is overwhelming, but it's overwhelming for Pluto too. The crude macula is like a little star, gushing matter and condensing it into an engine of light over and over. Modeled after a theory of the Big Bang after all, made in secret on the planet Hades, on the boundary between what is human and what is not. It's a fragile boundary. You can touch it, but be careful. Hahaha. This takes me back. Which is not fucking fair. Are you doing that on purpose? Always taking me to unpleasant pasts? Is it taking you back? Sorry, but we can't help it. It's the first thing beneath our surfaces. It's hard for me too. It takes Saturn back to our first implant series, when they took the most special children they could find and tried to cheat them into being even more special. Bypass all the work and care that had gone into the third generation pilots and kick them directly into humanity's next stage. Cheating, you should know, felt good. It felt wrong in a good way. It felt good in a way that felt obscene. I did not finish reading that. It felt good in a way that felt obscene. It felt bad, like she was getting more than she deserved. It chose her, but she felt like she played a trick on them, like she lied and got candy for it. They knew there was nothing special about her, and then they gave her the most special thing. If they knew how special it was and how much she didn't earn it, they would have given it to someone else, but they didn't. Even when they threw her away, she never forgot how that felt. Why is it always like this? No, baby. It takes Pluto back to when she was learning how to be a person. In space, they decided they would start over, without assumptions. Humanity would be protected by the most human children they could make. No matter how badly she did, no matter how much she wasn't up to how perfectly they wanted, they never gave up on her. That was the worst part. She wished so much they would give up. It was so hard. She just wanted to be the mess she really was, and they wouldn't let her. She knew with her whole heart what she was supposed to be. She had it memorized, and she could never make it leave her body. Become the things she did and the person she was. They let her be whatever she wanted, and she wasn't strong and smart and pretty enough to be it. Both of them remembered, reaching through the wall to the one on the other side, wishing so hard to hold hands. It feels like you really are. Your two pebbles dropped in the pond, but your ripples are touching enough. No one knows, and even the two of you almost don't. Never say it out loud. Never think it too loud. It sounds so sad when you put it like that. Why? Don't show things that stop making me jealous. Oh, you got me. You're touching me. I can hear you through the contact lens. Haha, you got me good, and that's what you have to say? You're the one who got me. You did it. You found me. You're clever. It's amazing. You don't need to flatter me. I won't feel better. I'm not. You better. I promise. Why am I so scared and you're not? That's just me. Sorry, I'm like this. Well, you can flatter me a little. You're a little needy, huh? Didn't you just say I had you? Haha, you do. You can do whatever you want now. Why did you do this? You came after me, so it's only fair I came after you. Don't say it's only fair. Say I'm amazing and important and you came after me specifically. You're totally not needy, huh? Give me a better answer. I want to know why it's me. I don't have one. There's so few of us left. I've got to cling to everyone. But I love that you're scared and you believe anyway. I think you're one of the only people who can make something change. And there's no time left. Is that a proposal? To join your side? Yeah! What if I refuse? Give me a good reason for me to join you. I'm about to sneeze. I'm about to sneeze. It's right there. And it's gone. That's fun. You're even more impulsive than me. You can start to see why I fight, can't you? The way I'm starting to see why you do. Show me something important and I'll be yours too. But you're definitely not going to go quietly, are you? Nope. If I let you go, will you promise to not crush yourself and me and literally everything? This time, you mean? Yeah. I think I can do that. Say hi to Mercury for me. I'll see you again soon, baby. September 12th, 1963. It's when the first and last artificial colony of the native sphere was completed in a tranquil bowl of stability at Lagrange Point 5. As the front line against existential threats, a training facility before a generation of humans adapted to fight in space, as a colony environment with the life, gravity, and culture necessary for human beings to live, thrive, die, and be born, with the hope that peace on Earth would reign if we won this war in heaven. Without pressure, water boils off our tongues, and we dissolve into component parts. Without culture, we forget the shapes we're supposed to have and turn inside out into something else. Out of necessity, we created a pressurized environment, exerting enough gravitational pressure to maintain cohesion, all senses, in space. A ship sailed to ferry us through the world. They function only in places where the gravity of humans is too light to sustain existence. It was doomed from the start. Of course they were jealous. Of the humans the Earth no longer wanted, flying on zero-G wings. Dr. Nix, Executive Director, Memorial Foundation Existential Expansion. July 29th, 1958. That's when the Memorial Foundation International Executive Committee was granted international authority in the spirit of unified human peace and the verified presence of an existential threat outside of the solar system to establish a cultural, military, and scientific response to existential threats. No longer confined to Earth, a growing native sphere where our gravity reigns forever. Safety, research, and expansion. The three pillars of Memorial Foundation Space Bridge will protect Earth from without as it has from within. Free from the old world's gravity, it would be possible to advance science, art, and culture without constraint and join hands. All of Earth finally unified. For Memorial Foundation, protecting humans from other humans throughout peace on Earth and protecting humans from everything else through war in heaven would fulfill both our agendas simultaneously. We really foolishly decided we could do better. There are two errors to this approach. The first is that to do better in heaven is meaningless if it cannot be exported to Earth. The space program was never rejected by the surface. It simply did not have enough relevance to sustain interest. The second error is the intrinsic error of the Memorial Foundation. The existential threat is intrinsic to humanity. You can fight it, but you cannot cut it out. The designation of alien is required by humans. We cannot trick an existential threat into a convenient manifestation. As it always has been, only humans can fulfill the criteria to be alien. Europa, Chief Officer, Memorial Foundation Existential Safety. God, stop making me read these emails. January 2nd, 1980. That's when they blew up Lagrange Colony. It was a real shame. It was a green, wet, very peaceful place. And now it's a very cold, green, wet, and very unsettling place. It's where we did a lot of legitimately incredible things, like create sustainable tidal reactors, new culture, experiment with human bodies and human development, manufacture self-sufficient alter egos for space exploration, and did everything other than successfully combat the unknowable existential threat. Earth and the Memorial Foundation Surface considers that a failure, but in truth, they're just not trying hard enough. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. Humans cannot make whatever they imagine come true. For imagining, humans chart out what is true. They invent, with human effort, what exists. If an existential threat doesn't exist, we just have to make one. But of course it doesn't work like that. Nothing could be more difficult than creating something alien. Our only reference points are human, so the idea of something alien is unimaginable, because we cannot imagine outside of those terms. There's a certain degree of misunderstanding needed for humans to successfully classify something as alien. But before they blew it up, we got very close. Iapetus, Executive Director, Memorial Foundation Existential Research. Day 5. OS root core reformatting 67% complete. Winning flight path, input, manual injection, extract CM flight path. Forcibly extracting coordinates. Coordinates received, flight path passes through former pilot training school Lagrange colony. Receiving new mission assignments. Error, block ship self side. Manual inject, scan virus. Manual inject, extract. 3 viruses detected and deleted. You have new mission assignments. Colony, reclaim tidal reactor from colony core before Memorial Foundation. Colony, prevent theft of entire colony by Cradle's Graces. Accept orders? Lamau. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to Lagrange colony. Ugh, my poor throat. But we're gonna finish the Saturn round. We're finishing Saturn round today. We're gonna do that, and I'm gonna, I don't know, like rip my throat out. Let me actually drink before I start reading the comms. Don't make it sound like I hate following command any less than you. Whoop. Don't worry. I would never doubt that. Hey Mercury, why are you still with Celestial Mechanics? Why are you? If you still are, that is. You're the one who can choose. Mercury. Oh, don't. If you hadn't hijacked String of Pearls, you'd be here like me waiting. To see if it's true that we can become what comes after being human. I don't want that for you. I certainly don't trust or believe in Celestial Mechanics or Iapetus, but wasn't that the worst part? Even after he decided we weren't good enough to be the chosen pilots, neither of us left. He knew we would leave because we already wanted it too much. Do you still want that more than anything else? I don't know. I know what I don't want, and it's to have nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for what? Coming to space, going to the academy, never having a chance to fight in the Cold War, not having a say either way, falling stupidly for the worst man alive. I'm counting on you, Saturn. Give me something better than the same Earth we left. You never have to worry about that. I have only the highest ambitions for us. Those girls you're flirting with better have a decent future for us, is all that I'm saying. Sure, fine, okay. Only if it's a really good one. If nothing else, I'll make sure that he doesn't get the future he wanted. Yeah, any future but the future he wants is good. Give me and Ganymede a good place there, wherever and whenever it is. Nick's resignation number 2. Let's go. This is from Iapetus. Next, you fundamentally misunderstood the purpose of pursuing the dream of space. I never sought to correct you, after all. After all of the great things you have accomplished are the results of that misunderstanding. You believed that your dream, so universally loved, was loved because we wanted it to come true. This was not the case, of course, even though I think the Memorial Foundation truly believed that they wanted the same as you. But as the tides of Earth turn, they realized in their own hearts that they are not the forefront of humanity's change, but slave to its whims. To protect human culture means to always be at its beck and call, no matter what it becomes. And their dream is one of overwhelming power, that it will unlock the last mysteries and cement our authority forever. What your children achieved with freedom from gravity, you will have the power to determine on our own. I hope you can understand the depths of my gratitude to you for exploring these ideas, that they might one day belong to us. Iapetus. Academy research records, Mercury. From Europa. Of all the Generation 3 pilots, Mercury is far and away one of the best suited to actually be a pilot, to the degree I'd be terrified of giving that position to any other one of Iapetus' nightmare brats. So there's absolutely no chance that he'll be assigned, of course. He really is trying to maximize. What I want to impress, however, is that Mercury is still someone Iapetus chose personally for the pilot role when he served himself during the Cold War, alongside the current second-tier candidate, Saturn. Mercury used to be a lot different, which is obvious. A lot of our pilots used to be a lot different, for reasons only space can explain. I think reducing it to Mercury's personal stake is as incomplete a reading as it would be for any of the other pilots in celestial mechanics. Some of them even know exactly what they're doing. Mercury most of all. I don't think he has petulant grudges against humanity. He's just very critical. Mission select. Alright, becoming stars or deeper cuts. This is Lunaterra. The Garden District, closest to the malfunctioning and broken tidal reactor that the colony together, time and space aren't quite right. It's the perfect place for a real fight. How deep under Lunaterra's skin do you think she can get? I may not even be able to finish Saturn today. Ugh, this place. You don't feel like seeing home again? Aw, come on. Don't tell me you don't have any fond memories of the Academy. I do, despite myself, and that's why I don't have any wish to see it like this. A ruined garden that only reminds us how weak the gravity of this whole venture really was compared to Earth. Not to mention, it was all for something completely worthless, too. Wait, now you're grumbling about a mission? This is historic! The Lagrange reactor is just a hollow shell, and there's barely any advantage to have in getting it. This better be a trap to use you as bait to get Memorial Foundation off our trail. Oh no! What a terrible trap to fall in! More flirting, I see. Is it unbearable? Yes, extremely. Are you really still getting nowhere with her? What are you talking about? I think you said you were going to crack her open and peel her shell, but I don't think you have. You don't know anything. Shush. I am completely and utterly correct then. He's highly evasive, point blank or sniper shot. I can't seem to hit her. Your type, I see. Shut up. I got the Academy's most notorious heartbreaker to look like an idiot at me, so I win. So shut up. She's even stupider than I thought she was, but she's not as stupid as me. Ugh, you're the one with your guts all over the place. Oh, just fine. I'm frustrated, alright? But it's not because I'm not getting anywhere or because I even care. Alright, this time I'm done playing. Happy? If there's anything there, or if she's just metal all the way through, I'm going to find out. If she is that boring, I'll never forgive her, but I'm coming back with guts this time. Fight for real in a fun way, which is for the Memorial Foundation, or fight for real in a fun way for the Celestial Mechanics. Let's go Memorial Foundation. Not long ago, the Academy Gardens were beautiful, and they were warm. Now they are colder than space because no feeling is as cold as wet is, not even vacuum. Under the stability of artificial gravity, Lagrange colony was as Earth. Maybe even a little bit more. And being more Earth than Earth was, it was also less. And so Memorial Foundation Existential Safety ordered it abandoned when the space program was decommissioned. Not everyone agreed, and then there was a fight, and then the colony became like this. Ruined in a way only human things can be ruined. The reactor was shattered, and with it all possibility for life and culture. Yet still, some of it lingers. Moss grows, objects gather. Sometimes there are whispers, tidal memories etched into space-time by the humans who spent too short a time there. True space is more of a numb feeling. It's the cold of nothing, and it feels like nothing too. I'm not so lost in nostalgia I can't tell when I'm not alone. And I know I'm not alone, so say something. Ha ha. Ah, so you did come. You're always close by. And you're always hiding something. And you're always just out of reach. Even though I've seen your face, I feel like I haven't. Even though I've shot you through the heart, it feels like I've never touched you. Maybe you're just dense, Lunatera. I felt those plenty. I should say that about you, in fact. Lunatera, maybe you're the only one who never came close enough to touch me? Am I just that good, or are you holding back? You're slippery. And you've gotten better, too. What makes you say that? I don't already know where you are this time. You must have been doing pretty awful before then. No, you weren't. But it's still unbelievable that you've gotten so good in such a short amount of time. So I don't believe it. Ha! There's no hiding how much I suck, huh? No, the opposite. There's no way you weren't this good before. That's not true. You've definitely been trained, haven't you? I never fought other pilots. Did you fight something else? That doesn't count. It was nothing but training. And nothing. And then nothing. The existential threat was never real. It was a trick of the light, and our weapons pierced it with 100% accuracy every time. No one was ever hurt, and it never became real enough to fight. That's true. It's also true that this isn't a real fight either. You were right when you called it play fighting. These machines weren't ever designed with practicality in mind. They simply aren't made with the intention to kill. I read plenty of Dr. Nix. I don't need the lecture. And you're not even explaining it right. They did make the ship selves with practicality in mind. They made them specifically in a shape that would not allow for death anymore. Dr. Nix just didn't want an end to conflict, because that's silly. You can't be human without it. Death defeats the purpose of conflict, which is how humans communicate and change. Death and war and conflict. The ship self signals the fundamental transformation of human conflict from suffering into love. If you know it, explain it the right way. Ha! If you knew Dr. Nix, you might have a harder time taking it seriously. I'm not part of Cradle's Grace for a reason, you know? I'm not that dumb. Not that I don't get the appeal of wanting to be that dumb. Just kidding. No, I do too. Pluto has that effect, doesn't she? Yeah, I feel dumb every time. She really makes you want to believe that with your whole heart, even if you never really quite can. And neither can she all the way through. She just tries very hard. Lunatera, why are you really here? To stop me from taking a worthless artifact? To fall into an obvious trap for another chance at stopping me once and for all? To rack up the glory and take all the errant children home for Memorial Foundation? To mess me up? Or to make out with me? Saturn feels herself growing in Lunatera's eyes, suddenly clearly seen. Wasn't I just perfectly clear? What's the ship body for anyway? I'm here to communicate. Aha, Lunatera. You're really shallow and kinda dumb. I'm honest. Finally, you're lucky, that's enough. Are you ready for that though? I don't think you're ready. Well, I think I'm ready. You want me to check? I won't give an inch. I'm not like you girls. I'm not a cosmic glow of energy in the dark. Still, I'm metal, and I'm sharp. Really think I'm not like that too? But I'm already behind you. It's a double lie, because the movement is to her left, but Saturn is coming from behind. LT's instincts are too good for her to not twitch fire to her left, even as she realizes it's just bullshit. But then there's nothing. A feeling of being so close to being struck that she can't tell if she was or not. Are you really not like us girls? I'm nothing special, like I said. But you dodged it. It wasn't real. Nothing to dodge. Obviously, that's the part that's hard. I'm fighting Korea, just like you wanted. You're the only one who wants that. And fine, dodge this. Lunatera's vision fills with pink. The neuroelectric toxin melting into her skin. It feels hallucinatory, weird, stubborn, aggressive, vulnerable, just like Saturn. In the poison electric haze, Lunaterra feels a little like Saturn. Ha! Gotcha. I like being wrong sometimes, you know? It's not like... I like not being Morale Foundation's perfect ace. Doesn't seem to really suit you, if I'm being perfectly honest. Neither does playing by the rules. If ship elves don't play by the rules when you're fighting, it stops looking like fighting. Yeah, what does it start looking like? Also, that's not where I am. A higher? Are you willing to bet on it? Yeah. Then go. Stakes of hard light are fine for flirting, but that's not what this is. The Mare Crisium Spear, made for reconciling the Earth and Moon, is meant to be used up close. It's the distance where skin touches skin, the obligation that humans have for other humans. Hard like gravity and warm like light. If no one has been worse at building that duty than Lunaterra, she's all the more the one who should be carrying that weight. Saturn only realizes after, when the lightness and heaviness starts to lift, that it had hit her too. Wow, I didn't think it was even possible to have a gravity less suited to you, let alone for you to be so good at using it. I really hate being in charge, actually, and I'm bad at it too. Sometimes you're the only one left who can do it. Even if you hate it and it's totally self-destructive, especially then. Sometimes I think, why do we have to fight anymore? Let's just do this obscene other thing. That, the thing that the fighting could be. And then you say something like that, I want to fight you so bad. You won't get it. You're hilarious. It makes me want to see you squirm. Like, in a nice way though. You can try. Haha. What? It's just funny. I love it when you play cool. Because you're not. Let's communicate aggressively. That's what humans do. Sure, I've already given up on that worthless reactor. They're never going to scold me enough to make me regret this. Day 6. Memorial Foundation is at 75%. That's a big percent. Alright, let's read the mail first. Oh. This says, do not read, Saturn. So, I guess that means that Saturn should very specifically read it. I'm completely uninterested in communicating with Iapetus in any capacity that's not technically. I know my boundaries, but you are very nice to work. I know you're not jealous, because you do respect me, but don't make me worry. It's what I like about you. I know you're worried for me, not about me, and I appreciate that. But I do want to clarify things so you stop asking me about it. Even though it is cute, and I do appreciate it. Really, I'm not just saying that. Please don't hear that in a passive-aggressive voice. But I've been meaning to ask this for a while. Is it okay that I believe in this? It's important to me that you understand that it's nothing to do with him. So I worry that means that you don't understand what it means for me. I don't believe humanity needs to be punished. I'm fine being human, but I think an important reminder is needed. Not alien in the sense of a foreign other that can bear all of our rage and hatred, but alien in the sense of casting our own features into relief. I think what we see as a result should shame us. But there are many things we need to see. You'll probably say you support me and believe in me. Thank you. But you'll also say it means something to you too. That's really why I love you. This is from Mercury. This is the Celestial Mechanics ship self-design. This is not what we talked about. Not by mine. You know I don't actually have a moral compass that does not revolve around what's cool. So coming from me, just know that it's my professional opinion that I'm not even sure this is cool anymore. Creating a theoretical matter is not even hard under laboratory conditions, and in space it's easy to sustain it. But the Creation of exotic matter like electrotoxins can get really not fun if you aren't careful. Since you hate fun, I already know that's not what you're after, and you don't have to level with me or anything, that's fine. But I do want you to know that this thing is basically designed to degenerate as quickly as possible. The reactor tends toward aversion, and that will require a pilot I really would not want to meet, and a piloting style that no one should ever do. Eventually, it's going to drag the pilot down, and that's going to be really weird and ugly unless they are immediately destroyed. Clearly you want that. I mean, you said so, but if they're going to have so much fun, let me try to convince you that you should set a self-destruct in there. Maybe something cool will happen when she averts, and this ship self keeps her anchored in space-time to mess everything up. It's not, don't you want a backup option? Comms, Mercury. Oh. Didn't mean to drop that. I haven't saved in a while. Let me actually save before we start talking to Mercury. Oh yeah, in like 2 hours. Alright. Mercury, what's up? Saturn, I would love it. Just love it. Yeah? You messed everything up this time. Is this reverse psychology? Did I really reduce you to that? I'm a little impressed by your persistence in nagging me, but now I'm feeling like I pushed you to your limit. Shut up. As always, I am serious. Messing things up is literally the only thing in the world no one has ever needed to specifically tell me to do. And you keep yelling at me when I do. I've been looking into Iapetus's work on the Aversion Project. Oh, how much do you know? More than you now. Of course, it was always suspicious that Iapetus decided to support us. He was very insistent in his interest in taking humanity to the next stage, as if that is why any of us wanted to connect with these so-called existential threats. People who already had everything on Earth couldn't possibly understand. They just want even more for themselves. That's what I thought too. Iapetus's plan is very attractive to certain factions in Memorial Foundation. Certain factions in Memorial Foundation really like the days when humanity was united against the existential threat. Except aliens aren't real. Okay, they're an nth-dimensional shadow cast by the gravitational impression of human culture in space-time, but that makes them a few shades sort of real and much less dangerous than their cousins on Earth. Even those are so weak, kids with radios can take them out. Anyway, Pluto wiped them out. That was the whole plan. Since humanity doesn't care about them anymore, they'd never expect that we would find a way to avert our tidal reactors and become the aliens ourselves. The only alien is what is alien to us, and that's fundamentally humanity. We're aliens to ourselves. F of x equals that which is not human, that humans are not. And Iapetus isn't going to give up everything he has for that. You think he's lying about wanting to? I think he's lying about himself wanting to. I think he's happy to let us go and complete the project and go home, because he'll have exactly what he and the rest of humanity is longing for. A scapegoat. Someone to be an alien humanity could guiltlessly fight against. Yes. I'm fine with abandoning Earth. It hasn't given me anything, but not on his terms. Not ever. Don't worry, Mercury. I've got a plan. No matter what it is, it won't go his way. Alright. The Lagrange colony is an uninhabitable husk, but Kratos Graces still clings to it quite literally. Pluto's dream might collapse under its own weight or crush Saturn under it. Please let there only be like one more day, and then Saturn's story ends. My throat hurts. The whole colony? It's so refreshing to see you surprised for once, Saturn. I'm so hoping you did. Ha ha ha, Mercury, but seriously? He wants me to stop Kratos Graces from taking the entire colony out of the Lagrange point? Why would they do that? Why would we care enough to stop them from trying? The colony should just rot. It's over, there's nothing left there. Kratos Graces wants those memories to live again. We need to discard Earth completely and start something new. It's the anchor pulling us back home. The success of opening the gravity well on the moon will depend completely on how much is holding us down, even weak gravity like that. That's more than just stopping her then. You want me to destroy the colony. That's our mission, yes. Not that I'm the greatest, but isn't that basically impossible for me? It's huge. There are smaller moons. Do your best then. The less memories, the better. I thought you didn't have any problems, that the colony should just rot. Ah, that's a funny joke. We both went through the same shit, don't ask me that. Every happy memory is made retroactively disgusting by the sort of person Yaphet has turned out to be. I hate him so much, I'll never get over how much. Saturn. Yes, Mercury? Then why are you still pretending to be with celestial mechanics? Why are you doing this is the real question, Mercury. You know him like I do, so why are you still there? I apparently have enough power to destroy a colony, and I can ditch him whenever I want. These celestial mechanics, take Ganymede, I'll protect you. I'll make sure there's a good future in the end. You absolutely will not be fine if I leave. Of course I don't trust him at all, but he wants what I want. It's what you want too. I can't trust him on anything else, but I can trust him on that. Even if he's just doing this for his own gain, with some other agenda in mind, he's truly going to give us this. It's disgusting. That's what I fell for, so stop reminding me. That's why I trust you too, of course, even though I shouldn't. I know you won't accept anything less than what you want. If you can get even half of that, it'll be more than enough for me. Yeah, I don't know, Pluto just hasn't convinced me to go for Cradle's Graces. Pluto hesitates because she's not ready for this kind of fight, and Saturn is. The colony shines like a star until you're right on it. Then it looms impossibly large, a translucent sphere, a drop of water suspended in space. Glistening beneath the drop of water, past the clouds that form in its crumbling artificial atmosphere, through the strange haze that seeps from beneath the crumbling streets, it's possible to make out the fading light of the colony's collapsing systems. A massive jewel, like a clean slice taken out of the earth, and floated in space until its gravity formed it into the tiniest planet. Even a tiny world is still a world. Who can touch this? Move it even by an inch. Much less move the Earth by an inch. Pluto slowly drifts into orbit around the colony, waiting. Hold on, I'm stretching. Give me a second. You don't know what to do sometimes, huh? I'm kinda stumped too, if I'm being honest, but sorry, destroying it sounds way easier than whatever they're trying to make you do. The string of pearls skates along the outer edges of the colony's ice and atmosphere. She's having fun. She's playing. For just a moment, Pluto wonders what she's doing here. Oh no, Saturn. I'm happy to see you, but I was hoping that I might be able to convince you to help me take it away. Oh yeah? And what made you think that? The same reason you thought you could convince me? Because you like me? Or because you don't care for your side that much either? I care about all of us left here in space. It's amazing that you actually honestly do. That's not what I asked, huh? There's a lot of ways to care about everyone in space. Dragging a colony out of the Lagrange point yourself is one way to do it. There's another way to care about everyone up in space. You can show up by destroying this place too. You're saying that would free us from the past? But it won't make those memories go away. We're making something out of them so that time and pain won't be wasted. This is important to me, and I'll fight for it, and I'll fight for real over it. Don't look at me like that. You'll make me sad. You really don't need to be the one to tell me because I already know I'm doing something super dumb. I wonder, what do you want, and why do you think you can get it from me? It's just going to be a fight. Is that what you're after? The string of pearls presses its heel into the ice of the colony's atmosphere. Yes, even more so now. Didn't they teach you about sunk cost fallacies in the academy? Memories should just be memories. That's why you kind of make me mad sometimes. I've been having this feeling you're going to do something way dumber and scarier than just fight me. Am I right? Because after I already said that there wasn't anything you could do, after you were shaking and afraid from just being close enough to see me, it looks like I can trust you to come right back no matter how much I try to warn you. I trust you to come back twice as much. You're wasted on protecting this pointless ball of scrap. Whoever is ordering you around has no idea what they're doing. Huh, you're so right. But I'm still not going to let you through. You're wasted on Cradle's graces in general. And the rest of humanity too. Don't try to push my button like that. I won't think it's cute. It's a lot of work to be a human. I'm not trying to be cute, I mean it. It's more for some humans than for others. You're not mad at the humans who got to be human for free? It's a privilege to be human. Have you forgotten why we're here? Because humans who wanted to be more human took the least human of us up here to see how much more human they could be. And now they want to throw you away after they learned everything they could from you. Don't you resent humanity? I do. What do you do when someone says you can't have something? Do you think you should work twice as hard until you earn it? I don't. I want to smash it until no one else can have it. You know, you're just like Lunatera. Ugh, please don't say that. You're merciless. It's in a good way. Not even then. Don't get me wrong. It just depresses me to see you wasted on all of them. You should be having fun. You know, I wish I could come here just for that. Just to have fun. Good. Have fun with me. I know you want to show me mercy, lab rat to lab rat. Mutant bitch to mutant bitch. That's not what we need though, is it? I want to see the you that's having nothing but fun. I'm still getting used to this body, but I think I can still surprise you with it. And you'd like that, right? Cutting loose with no gravity to tie you down? Think about that every day. It's so tempting. You gotta be ginger with the universe, you know, Saturn. Now that you're this strong, you've gotta be careful. So much can go wrong. I'll make sure to be very careful with the universe you love. You don't have to hold back with me, though. Aren't I the only person you can go tight to tight with, holding nothing back? That's a big promise. I don't want to come off as full of myself, but I don't want you to underestimate me either. Plastic girl to plastic girl. I wouldn't patronize you like that. It's tempting, but I wonder if you're really ready. You wouldn't mind getting your ship self broken and dragged back to Cradle's Grace's dream lab to do who knows what to? What, is that supposed to sound bad? You really are. Oh, fine. I'm going to start easy, okay? They flirted enough, so neither is in the mood to lie. So no holding back. Lie to others about how strong you are, and no mercy. Lie to yourself about how strong someone else is. When Pluto opens her arms wide enough for her gravity to condense, pull, and tear through space, she's trusting Saturn can handle the pressure. She has faith that Saturn will outdo her. Saturn meets Pluto's expectations with just a little bit of convulsing and shuddering. Then she exceeds them by darting like a bullet, a little hot arrow of danger, and just as dangerous to the touch. Crude macula is a big target, but Saturn isn't going to be lazy this time. This is the time to be precise, to throw everything in on the vector she's flying. It's not let Pluto's tidal forces budge her a millimeter, which is good, because even then she only barely grazes Pluto. Pluto's faster than you could ever imagine. The universe moves away, bending to not hit her, with the tides that say, "Oh, coming into orbit is fine, but no touching." That's what you have to work for. That Saturn dared anyway is very bold of her. The burn on Kroon Macula, where Saturn's light passed over Pluto, stings only a little. But it was close, so Pluto takes her seriously and grabs the string of pearls by the tail, flings her into the colony's surface, and dives after her. Saturn is basking in the bounty of attention. It requires all of Pluto's gravitational forces to keep her contained. The string of pearls makes her feel like goo, like a cartoon, like a liquid, and with it, she's as slippery and untouchable too. Others would shatter under the pressure, but string of pearls bulges and squishes. Pluto pulls and pushes, trying to force her into space that will sit still long enough she can deal with it. Saturn squeals in excitement until she can stop giggling long enough to push Pluto off with an electric burn. Pluto can't help but laugh too. It's funny how much nothing is working even though she's trying as hard as she can. That makes her want to work as hard as she can. Lab-grown girls know. That-cultured girls know. Carefully indoctrinated, carefully raised, special gifted girls. They all know. Heroes want to hold us, but we don't need them at all. Rather than bandages and kindness, the sting of pressing wounds together is the medicine we need. No boy who wants to heal your wound is worth the one who will tell you your wound is there. I can't believe it. Me neither. I really thought I'd actually be the one beating you. You didn't lie though. You really could endure it. All of it. Colony is much worse for wear. Saturn shattered against it many times. Pluto broke across it a few times too. It's shaking in the Lagrange point. You won even though you lost. I had a lot of fun. I wouldn't have been able to have it with anyone else. I'm glad I trusted you to not lose. Ha, told ya. Good girl. I should have never doubted one of us. Thank you, thank you. We did our best. Had the most fun we could have. When we get to the moon, don't forget. Keep having fun just like this, if you let me show you the way. Oh my god, more emails! No! Oh, this one's from Lunatera. This one will be slightly more acceptable. It's January 30, 1981, and the day is almost here. The deadline to save everyone who came up to space with us, fought with us, tried to bring everyone up with us. If we shut down the lunar gravity well, there won't be any choice left. The power that keeps our ship selves in check will fall apart, and we won't have anywhere else to go but home. If we kill the dream, no one will die. We really, really hope that's true. No one should die in space. No one should die, period. No one has to die. Because ship self-combat is shimmering missiles of light, cosmic explosions, electricity that sears through the soul. Light science is impossible for a human to produce. Dances of combat without it. A fight against ideas with toys. Humans would never show that sort of compassion to each other. Earth's answer is a single atomic particle fired at near light speeds directly into the cockpit core. A true weapon from a military force. The quickest, most efficient, instantaneous, unavoidable way to kill a human. The most boring possible way to pointlessly die. No drama, no meaning, just nothing. Lunatera, Memorial Foundation Ace Pilot. It's January 30th, 1981. In the end, they might get everything they want, in the way that no one wants. And if we open up the lunar gravity well, and we can establish forever another Earth, and maybe another, we can inhabit the whole system. That will cut humanity into two and more. The distance will be so much further. Everything we have will be even farther from them. How much are we going to lose? How much will we never be able to get to them? The moon is very close to being part of Earth. It's full of life, and humans can live here now. It is impossible, and I don't want to give it up. We should break it off forever, shouldn't we? All I want is to stitch these two humanities together, but if one of us dies as a result, I will fight forever to keep that precious thing alive. Pluto, Princess of Cradle's Grace. It's January 30, 1981. They don't name it because naming it gives it power, but not naming it gives it more. It must be in every corner, behind every door, far, far away in the spaces between stars. It is defined and categorized in every human culture and is deliberately omitted from explicit naming conventions by Memorial Foundation in favor of an euphemism less captivating to the imagination, such as existential threat, rather than a specific word that would stimulate the imagination. But a trick like this will not work. In the euphemism is a hollow void that can hold all fears and all possibilities. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. But what is not does not stop existing. And it, like humans, can decide. It's the kiss of inverse, everything that humans can imagine but can't become. The shortcut to attaining it is to forsake everything humans already are. If a bunch of idiots get tricked into going there, it would make a very convenient enemy for Earth. That's their real fear. Before that happens, I'll tell you a little secret. Ready? Saturn. Celestial Mechanics Test Pilot. Day 7. Route installation complete. New OS in operation. Celestial Mechanics fleet collecting in the orbit of Earth's moon. Request for assistance received. Ignore. Awaiting manual input of Martian parameters. Assist Cradles, Graces, and Celestial Mechanics with the opening of the gravity well and changing gravitational constants to make conflict with Earth possible. Mission created. Get in as much trouble as possible with Memorial Foundation Ace. Mission created. Calculating gravitational slingshot data from server hack. Ready for launch? Yes. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshots. Prepare for immediate launch to Earth's moon. I just have 0% with Cradles Graces. Maybe, Pluto should have flirted with me a little more. So many emails. Why children? From Dr. Nix. They aren't children anymore, but when they were pilots, they were. For all the obvious reasons that children are more suited to be pilots than adults. Since the decline of the space program, there have been fewer and fewer waves of new recruits, and the current pilot generations have no successors. Adults are serving as pilots because there are no longer any children in space, and adults should not have to serve as pilots. It would be cruel to send children to fight a war so that adults don't have to, especially as adults have far more powerful tidal forces than children. In their physical and metaphorical manifestation, tides are the measurement of the authority that culture has over the universe. The light of the soul that turned all impossible things into our dominion. The gravitational forces of children are weak enough to perceive and engage the existential threat without obliterating it instantly, and as a cancer that exerts a subtle influence in the back of our unknowing minds, they are suited to protect us from it. For this reason, Memorial Foundation has pushed against traditional cultural institutions for engaging existential threats with this more humane practice. Due to the resiliency of children in detrimental long-term effects, contact with existential threats that has on adults in the vast majority of cases. In some exceptional circumstances, contamination lingers in children. The gravitational forces never achieve sufficient power to extinguish the existential threat without resistance. Without the tidal force to challenge other adults, they remain in limbo, unsuited to anything else. The remaining small percentage of the original pilot program that continues to reside in space is made of such cases. New version proposal from Memorial Foundation Celestial Mechanics. Thank you. I'm no different from my former colleagues. I think we all want the same thing. Ultimately, every one of us. I'd implore you to be forgiving of them, though not of their methods. Many of us are thankful for the ending of the Cold War. The paranoia and suspicion that accompanied the strength of the existential threat in this world, as it fed on the trauma and malaise of as it fed on the trauma and malaise and discontent of the world after the war. But I think some of us have some reservation about the future, and abandoning existential threats to address the threats of our home, it will inevitably result in us turning to conflict between humans once more, and in turn, the existential threat will thrive. We are looking for the smoothest, most uncontested future. I won't lie, this will not ensure happiness for everyone. In fact, it may be difficult to understate how much it will ensure the opposite for what we will ensure are very few. But what I'm proposing will ensure the maximum happiness for the maximum number of people. And what else can we do? Alright. Please let this be plastic. What does the mission so far? We've got 2. Do you still think about Neath? Or do you think about Neath still? That's out of nowhere. I think about them every day, obviously. They're the reason celestial mechanics exists. First to understand what happened to them, and then, because we couldn't stop thinking about how to make what happened to them happen to us. Still don't know what it was exactly. They had us all get together to reach through space and time and contact the existential threat wherever it came from, to make sure that it truly had been defeated for good. I think they were really hoping it wasn't. We felt the same, especially us who never got to fight yet. We reached together as far as we could. And Neath reached farther than anyone. I didn't think it would have been them before anyone else, but I didn't know them. Was it that they reached too far? Or what? Or if something reached to them? What's the difference? In the end, they got it, whatever it was. Are you having second thoughts? Maybe. They were the only one. I was always wondered why that was. Were they special? In a good way or a bad way? Were they chosen? What would be the criteria? We know it's none of that, though. Just a lonely, unchosen child. Without so little presence in this world, they fell into another one. That's how it is. The only trick is how to do it on purpose. It's just it. Are we too attached? I want to be something new and share it with everyone. Am I too heavy for the apple? It's a thin line between falling into inverse because you have hope and because you don't have any left. We should be glad it's not so easy, you know? Alright. Numenera. Earth has promised to let the children of space sort themselves out. For now, let their machines of war guard the way back home, just in case. When Saturn and Numenera meet in a chance encounter, the true terror of humanity stares them down. Hopefully this is... We're almost at the end. This game is great so far, but my throat is dying. Spinning up tidal reactor. Frequency double checks, first turn. 100%. Frequency double checks, second turn. Stop and spin them again. 0 again? Where were they at? 99.99999. But it doesn't matter. They should be at 100%, so we're spinning them again. Mercury, if I go out and die, it's not because we didn't quintuple check every reactor pulse. Saturn, this time, please, could you listen for once? No matter how useless I know that telling you this is. I know I say this over and over, but can you listen? Seriously, tell me you're going to not be risky this time. It's not a game anymore. This mission is different. It's not ship cell to ship cell. These troops are real weapons from Earth, designed for real threats that are real, not existential. They are perfectly capable of killing. They are designed for no other purpose. That's not going to even be an issue, though, because your orders are strictly to observe and not get remotely close enough to engage. They won't leave stationary orbit around the near side of the moon. They're Earth's insurance plan, and we can ignore them as soon as we make sure that that's all they're doing. Don't joke about dying. That can't happen. It won't if everything is perfect and you do exactly what you're supposed to. It finally matters this time, and you... Mercury, please. I'm actually really sorry, Mercury. I didn't mean to make you worry. I didn't mean to make you really worry for real. I promise I'm not trying to die, okay? I promise, okay? Making poor choices about who to kiss and what to do isn't the same thing. I listen to you when it's for real, okay? I wouldn't cross the line. You're my friend and no one else. No one else is worth you. You're the most important. We've been through too much. I wouldn't ever go back or throw everything we've got away. You know that, right? Sorry I'm acting like I forgot. Mercury? Hey, say something. You idiot. Give me a minute. Damn it, I was gonna act like I tricked you. I was going to feel smug making you think everything was serious and I was going to lord it over you. Now I'm crying, asshole. Sorry about me, but I love you too, don't worry. Obviously we're just going Memorial Foundation route, right? Oh, that's very rad. It's winter on the near side of the moon. Which means it will be half a month before this hemisphere sees day again. The frosted forest will see spring in a week, summer the week after, and fall a week after that. A year of seasons in a month-long day. Even terraformed, could humans live like that? On the near side, though, at least the Earth will always be in the sky, eternally huge, shining with authority and kindness, unlike its agent who hangs in the corner of the sky like a migraine aura. There's nothing extraneous about its shape. It is here to do just two things: look, then kill. When Saturn flew a millimeter too high, the autonomous military unit looked, then killed, but just too slow, and Lunaterra pushed her away and dragged them both deep into the winter forest. The unit looks twice as hard. It's been encouraged not to miss twice. Shh, don't make a sound, you're being too noisy. Get that a lot, but this time I'm not making any noise, so don't tell me to be quiet. You're the one flitting all over the place. They're listening for gravity. Vibrations are not the kind of noise they care about, so keep moving and don't make a noise in your heart. Don't make a sound in all possible senses. Don't make a sound physically, emotionally, or spiritually. Calm down. I don't like it if you're not calm. First of all, that makes no sense, and secondly, I refuse. I don't think you should die, so think of something else to do instead, because they can kill you. Unlike me or any ship self, so think about as little as you can, okay? And keep your tidal reactor's output to a minimum. It helps make yourself be like an object. You will be a thing that other things happen to, rather than an agent. That's what it's looking for. Agency, so it can make itself cease immediately. You know, I'm absolutely super good at that. I have a lot of experience with it, so I'm absolutely not going to. Huh, no, me too. That's why I suggested it. But you're right, I should have suggested it like that. How about this instead? Start by thinking about the Earth. The autonomous device becomes visible instantaneously. It doesn't look anything like a ship's self and bears no resemblance to a human shape, because there's no intention for it designed to accommodate humans. It's the opposite of what it does. It has nothing to express, only a function to perform. What did I do? Probably thought too hard about Earth, but shh, all the same. It's so creepy. That's supposed to represent Earth? It doesn't even look like humans made it. Really? I think it's rather appropriate that it doesn't look human at all. They can detect an artificial gravity reactor, but they don't really know what to do unless they can lock a target and kill. So if it can't verify what it is, it won't do anything. feels so heavy suddenly. What is this? I'm telling you, that's the Earth. Real gravity. It's very, very heavy. You can feel its authority. That's the gulf between us and a planet. You know that. I guess it feels really different to feel it in person. You were saying a way to avoid it? Do you remember being a normal kid, even for a little bit? Do you remember the last time you acted convincingly like one? Obviously. I was a really good kid, you know. It's checking your gravity against this script, and it thinks... Sorry, it doesn't think. It just checks that variance. Aren't I pretty excessively varied by now? Just wait there a second. It's hard to teach on the spot. Not that I don't know the idea. How are you so good at it? Sounds like you kinda hate that I am. I promised I wouldn't die, but I'm mad that I have to do this. Lunaterra slowly crosses the frostbitten green crater, where Saturn is curled among cold desert junipers. The dark, barely perceptible dot monitors them in pale earthlight, so precisely waiting. It's easier to hide if their ship cells are turned off, or as close to that as a ship cell can be, so they climb outside to the cold lunar winter to wait. I'm here. Are you doing okay? No, obviously I'm scared. Me too. Forget what I said. I hate doing that too. You warm laying there? You're not warm at all. At least your boobs are soft. Fellow boob enjoyer. She just like me for real. Your autonomous unit doesn't like flirting, huh? You think about how you're keeping a secret. Keeping it really close. Waiting for the perfect moment. And no one else can know. Okay, I can do that. That's not as bad. Is it that big a difference? There is infinite difference between someday and never. I've extremely forgotten how to be patient, but I know the difference. You're right. It really is important to never forget. It's still not going away. Yeah, it's a lot more patient than us, huh? It's looking at you, too. Aren't you on their side? Just because we want Earth back doesn't mean Earth wants us back. So Memorial Foundation really is that stupid? Maybe. In their eyes, we're as bad as you. So why go back? Because fuck them. They don't want anything to do with us. Memorial Foundation thinks it's optimal for humanity to return. But I think many humans think it would just be fine if we died. That just makes me want to come back to Earth even more. Aha! Spite, I can understand. I can be petty too. I want back, even if only for spite. We will bring them back a little taste of what it is like to be us. They're afraid that we might bring something back with us. And they should be. Much more than they already are. That's what I want. Knowing that you're just as petulant and petty as me, this week, too, makes me reconsider you. In a good way. It's wonderful. Maybe it makes me want to fall in love. Oh, huh. I said maybe. Don't get full of yourself. Sorry. There's no way we're getting more than half of what we want, at best. We're only hoping for half of what you want, so I wonder if you'll even get that, if you get it. I don't expect things to go my way, but, you know, I hope you're coming along, wherever it is. Truer than you know, LT. Whichever way we go, we're going together. In this cosmic glow, we're going wherever we're going together. I love you. Get used to me now. Made me go upside down on purpose again. You're so good at evasion, but scoring a direct hit is so easy. You win. It'll be nice to see the end of every world but this one alongside you. See, the machine's already bored. Or not bored, but uncomprehending, and then it lost interest. But I'll stay here with you until it leaves for good. Because flight or fights, petty bitch to petty bitch, lab rat to upperclassman brat. What, really? Do you maybe love me too? Day 8. Memorial Foundation is at 100%. Alright, we're almost there. Probably. Hopefully. Why, children? Oh, this is so long. Alright. I've almost drained the second bottle. By the end of the space program, with recruitment having stopped almost a decade before the official decommissioning of the space program, all the pilots had become adults. Yet they were recruited as children and spent the fiercest years of fighting against the existential threat as children. Much like criticisms levied at the scout programs on Earth, there's a motion that Memorial Foundation considered heavily in deciding how to recruit their pilots. Children have no special piloting qualities, with much weaker tidal authority than adults, who of course have the tidal authority to engage other adults. Adults would be stronger, more powerfully able to use ship cells, much more so the beloved and chosen adults rather than the discarded and flawed children that were chosen. On Earth, adults with much stronger tidal forces than children will destroy the existential threat before even comprehending it. And because of this, those threats are able to hide in the world and prey on those who are more weak, such as children, or those who are unchosen even as adults. Those who are strong enough should struggle with other humans, and those who are weaker protect the rest from the trivial threats outside humanity. Sustained contact with the existential threat often exacerbates this effect, and there is a cold twofold reason for delegating who will and who will not confront existential threats. Children and the unchosen bear the burden, so adults will not be worn away. I'm starting to run out of breath. Everything is ready for you. I wish you had let me help you more. You'll be fine back home, without a ship. I envy you a little bit. Piloting is for girls and jocks. It's not my thing. I wish I was coming with you. Sometimes a very, very tiny bit. Mercury, we are very different. But I love you. We're parts of the same thing. We wanted the same things. And I'll walk alongside you until we get them. Really? You're not leaving, possibly forever? If I'm leaving, you're coming with me. If I stay, I'll bring you home. You know, you can't rely on me for anything, but you can count on me for this. I promise. I promise. You promise with correct punctuation and capitalization, so you know it's real. What else can I do to pay you back? Nothing. I count on you for a lot, Saturn. The same way you count on me. Alright. Acceleration due to gravity. Celestial mechanics and Cradle's Graces have one thing in common, and that's escaping Earth's gravity. To do that, they need Saturn and Pluto to work together to correct the lunar gravity well. It's an opportunity for one to get the upper hand over the other, but they're not thinking about it politically. That was the new equipment fitting. It's not that much weirder than how it was before. This mission, it really is a weird one, Mercury. This is always the plan, and you know that. The lunar gravity well is the anchor that all tidal reactors resonate with. It's how ship cells maintain their form, how colonies on other planets and orbital bases and ships maintain environments humans can survive in. Gravity, in both the literal and figurative senses, is required for us to live in space. Without it, we dissolve into the universe, becoming everything that humans aren't. There's a lot of that in the universe, if you've noticed. If we want to turn something into something interesting and specific, we have to make sure that we're controlling the aversion process. Is it going to work? Probably not. I wouldn't trust Iapetus to do this right. There's nothing in it for him, so why would he care? When he lived on Earth, he had everything he wanted. He isn't like anyone else who came to space. He's just flirting with the idea of transcending human limits for boring reasons and only for his. There are no places left on Earth to conquer, so he wants to be the first to own the future. This actually works. I don't want to share it with him. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I told you I was playing this how I wanted, right? I'm not letting him have this. Yeah, let's tempt Pluto. Whoa. Stretching. On the lunar South Pole, the moon's first city glimmers mundane. So ordinary, it's hard to believe it's not just another site on Earth. The Lagrange colony was destroyed, the Aries colony was stillborn, but Earth's satellite is almost as much as Earth is. So we have the authority to name Earth's satellite the Moon, part of our body, the native sphere, and not foreign, unknown Luna. Even if the space program is ended, the Moon will remain part of Earth, as it once was, before a cosmic event toward from Earth. Reclaiming the Moon was a historically and existentially important event for all of us. Except for this impossible tower on an impossible mountain, and a point of eternal light, which is not so earthy yet. The gravity well is suspended directly above the tower's point, resonating with Earth to keep every wayward human in space grounded. The Moon has been taught almost all of the Earth's gravity, but not quite. There is still some possibility left. Quiet. You up to something? What makes you say that? The tilde, but also everything else. That's something I've got. Don't mind me. Hey, I'm being very sneaky here. String of pearls and crude macula circle around the small, glimmering void of the gravity well. For all the good it might do, Celestial Mechanics and Cradle's Grace's capital ships are standing by. Just not too close. Who knows what could happen? I should be suspicious, shouldn't I? I think you must have some sort of evil plan. Of course, you should always be suspicious. I'm shifty. I'm here to get the upper hand. Good. That's why I'm here too. Still, I don't mind if it's your evil plan that finally succeeds, as long as it's yours. Trying to fluster me. Try harder. I mean, it is working. I just want to get flustered more. You're in a really good mood. So I'm extra worried. More worried to be working with you than all the times fighting you. Not in a bad way, though. Gravity well is a massive engine, and it is very stable. To destabilize it is very dangerous to everyone and everything, which is why they're opening it. The escorting operational platforms from Cradle's Graces and Celestial Mechanics tonelessly coordinate with each other to instruct Saturn and Pluto in preparations, like exes that are forced to attend an event for their children together, because that's what they are. No, you're the one who's quiet. I was in a good mood. Did I tease you too much? There's just a lot of these things that I gotta clip and send to a friend. Because it just fits so perfectly. I don't know, I was just remembering something. Do you remember this too? We did something like this before, a long time ago. We did? Together? I only saw you a little bit back on the campus. It was kind of a weird time. You seemed really far away then. More so than now, and we weren't there that long. The third generation, they wanted to kickstart the process, you know? Not a whole childhood of care and attention, but condensed, chemically assisted cybernetic enhanced growth. They wanted us to go from nothing to perfect. I guess by that standard, we didn't fall as short as we could have. Unfolding dimensional chords, begin torque acceleration. There are hard times. You know, I was really bad at first, right? Not just terrible at all the classes, all the tests, all of the work, but I wasn't obedient or likable either. I was super annoying. But it still feels like me, most of the time. It can't be true. Of course it's true. I wouldn't have tried so hard if I hadn't been like that at first. When I first got here, I knew I was lucky, and should have been so much happier than I was on Earth, but everything felt wrong. It took a long time for those memories to turn happy, containing stray particles, establishing them. It was the opposite for me. At first, I loved being a science experiment, but I guess it would have been different for you. I didn't think about that. We made it sound like we met each other before. Enabling physical canceling. Limit off. Good at remembering people. There's not many of us, so it's not that hard, but I remember you. You looked like you started out perfect. I was a little jealous of you. I'm not surprised that you don't remember the one thing we did together. Everyone was there, and we were just thinking about what happened and not everything else. Oh, you're talking about... Yeah, that. We were all there, so of course you were there. I didn't think about that either. Nyx, Iapetus, and Europa all wanted the space program to justify its existence. Earth didn't agree. The alien threat that we defeated with such ease wasn't even worth it. Just a shadow created by waves of humanity in space. A color and light that fought us and never came into focus. So they had us all come together, over the gravity well just like this, to see if we could pull whatever they were moving fully into our universe. And then it went so wrong. That was when the space program really ended, wasn't it? Never should have done it. It was risky, and no one knew what they were doing. And everyone was desperate. I don't know. Maybe Neith doesn't feel the same way. Tiny pointed glimmering darkness in the gravity well sometimes shines in a way that for a moment it seems like there's something inside it. I hope that's true. I want to believe it. Can't blame them for what happened though, either way. Really though? What do you mean, can't blame them? I mean, they were the ones who gave in, right? Most people talk about what Neith did or what happened. It's as if they turned inside out in the light of the gravity well. It was as if it was a horrible accident. Not something they did on purpose. Why do you talk about it like it was? I just had this feeling. I didn't really know Neith at all. Maybe I should be honest. For a second I was thinking the same thing. What if I jump in? I thought the same thing. We could have been like them. During the testing, when we saw the gravity well opening before us, we could have jumped in too if we wanted to. It was scary. It was, but a lot of us looked at that, and after we thought, us too. That was how Celestial Mechanics was born. It's the truth. Whenever Iapetus really wants a side, we have our own ideas. It's amazing. I couldn't be so brave. When Earth looked at what emerged, they were filled with despair. So that's how I decided to feel too. After all, it was proof that the existential threat was the same thing it's always been. The same thing we've been fighting as long as humans have been humans. The shadow possibility cast by us. The not quite there aliens we had fought for so long and just caused by our rebels in spacetime. We only had ourselves to lose and nothing to gain by fighting them. Where Neith went and what they became will only be in us knows. What did you really feel in that moment, before you told yourself otherwise? I'll tell you how I felt. I felt smug. I mean, I did everything right, and that loser messed it up. When I learned it was the end of the program, I was mad. But when they demoted me from piloting anyway, I realized I was the fool. It was an important lesson on not being a good girl. Stabilizing reaction, synchronicity perfect, hold until stable. I feel like I know you a little better now, Saturn. Too, in a new kind of way. Now you, what did you really feel? Oh my god. I've been at this for 3 hours and my throat hasn't gotten any better. Saturn, please just let your story end. The tractor is turned inside out, from shining white to infinite black, drawing in all that is emitting and that isn't yet. But with gravity itself, the weight we have in the universe, that alone is all we need to touch. Oh! Hello there! We're just gonna hit that. YouTube, please don't kill me. Oh, let me double check this game's, like, rating. I don't know if this game has, like, an ESRB rating. What if I go to, like, pretty sure ESRB has a website. It does not. So I'm just gonna keep the game screen off until this scene goes away. Oh, there you are. I knew we'd only get a moment to touch. Do you maybe think sometimes of falling in? And you must have thought about it. Core resonance in perfect conditions, fully ready for full release. Gravity well unbound. All stability checks normal. All stability checks nominal. Here it comes. Back then, I almost did jump in. I thought about it before it was happening. But they said you must not, under any circumstances. It would make anything I couldn't do possible, if I left everything I had behind. It's an awful paradox of a deal, but I wanted to do it so much I would have if Neith hadn't wanted it 1 second more. I've never told anyone that. You're really good at seducing people, Saturn. If I gave you the chance to fall in again, would you? Would you fall in with me? Oh, just you wait and see. The gravity well shines. It is collapsing into a star. Everything is starting. The opening was peaceful, perfect, no problems. But there's a feeling, like the fluttering of wings, deep down. Okay. We're safe again. I'm disappointed, Saturn. I expected more from you. Okay, Saturn, I get the idea. Sorry, wait. That really just is the best thing you could have ever said to me. Are you sure there's no bitterness behind that laughter, Saturn? You think you can admonish me for not impressing you at this point? No sense of failure? If you're mad, how could I possibly consider that a failure? I was just expecting more. A more comic disappointment. A true ruining of the universe. Do you expect me to believe you're happy with this outcome? Memorial Foundation has such low ambitions. You're underestimating me. Don't think I wouldn't pick a future just to spite you. I don't believe that for a second. What happened to that ambitious person I knew? And finally, you have nothing to say. Are you afraid of what's coming back to Earth that much? You really don't get how satisfying it is to listen to you go on like this. You, the mocker of dreams. Hey, Abydus, why don't you try being more realistic? I have nothing to lose in a return to Earth. Didn't that bother you to no end? I can see how this would truly be the future you fear the most. You don't have anything to lose. But when we come back to Earth, are you maybe afraid of what it will gain? Memorial Foundation does not have the power, or the courage, or the hope. They have experience in numbers, and that still matters. It matters the most because the gravity well is whimpering, sputtering, and Earth's tactics, strategic and realistic, are favored. Their weapons are kinetic. They don't fight with anything dreamlike or unique. All they have to do is this simple job. A fight between giant robots can only be so realistic. But that's the best they know how to do. They've never fought on Earth, after all. Gravity Well is successfully commandeered to the Memorial Foundation. The limits are made clear. They were rockets built always for entry back home, and to take everyone with them. Halimi in the Losulchi soars in glory, holding the dying Gravity Well in her arms. Though through it, she extends the logic of Earth to every tidal reactor, the exact gravitational constant that determines human to be human. Oh, you're a new person. Lunatary, you've done so well. You've been so good. Are you still going to betray us? Europa told me to expect it. I won't. Like I promised. Even if the rest of the pilots may not forgive me, they're coming home now too. Is that a problem? I thought it was happiness for all. No one left behind. Emphasis on the no one left behind. Because the first is too hard. You have to be careful, you know that. They think we're more trouble than we're worth. There's a really simple, easy solution to us becoming another existential threat. A simple way to defeat it and prevent it. They indulged the Memorial Foundation's plea for an alternative to their method, the one used from the beginning of humanity to the present day. They allowed us. Because we made the promise of submitting without complaint. That's true. Europa never failed to remind me that Earth could just decide to kill us. The Earth cannot be divided. We are meant to be one. Earth is an anchor in space-time for us. It wasn't always like that. We started from zero. We had to carve out our place in the universe bit by bit. We have to move ever forward, marching in progress. As culture marches forward, so does our gravity increase. We need each other, and we need this culture, this gravity, to make us together. I agree. Humans need to come together. Lunaterra immediately fires a solid-like bullet into the gravity well restraint mechanism. The gravity well implodes back to life. In the middle of the victorious fleet, communication immediately falls apart as space-time and electromagnetic forces tear through them. Finally did it, Lunati. Something so dumb, I don't have the time to get mad before I save you from it. You could have at least told me this is what you're planning. I would have, but I wasn't planning this until 10 minutes ago. Hey, I didn't even cut it that close. Tell me you thought of something good. I'll follow you, even to a bad end. But not if you've got nothing other than this depressing conclusion. I'd have to hate you to let you do that, baby. Hands reach from behind her, and hold the well gently as Halloween's fingers shatter. What? Traitor! Sorry, I'm just borrowing it. You're not sorry now, you weren't sorry then. I think you might really wish you were sorry. I want to believe you want to be sorry, but that's not good enough. It's certainly too late for it. I wish instead of wanting to be sorry, you just wouldn't be able to be happy again. Can't do that. Then please, deny this. The sulky is made almost entirely of a constantly refracting hard light. It emits from every angle at light speed, drowning towards a reverse vacuum devoid of energy, an unignorable, undeniable deluge. Light with substance and pressure and weight of water. The heaviness is unbearable, to Lunaterra especially, and yet it's so familiar, it's impossible to escape. Automatically she falls right in. No matter what terrible things you've done, you've never forgotten exactly what you deserve for them. That's how you could make it up. That's how you should make it up. At least, not in the same way, which I know now. I thought I would die before. But the nice thing is, if you don't die from this, you grow up. Even if it feels unfair. Are you suffering? Lunaterra reaches her hands as close as she can to the gravity well. Her own type of reactor howls and creaks with the strain of not falling. It isn't interested in Lunaterra's dream. It just wants to have everything. The infant wish of humanity. Earth's pure greed, the light void. The all-consuming gravity that erases all distinction. Pluto can barely keep the light at bay. It tears into Pluto with perfect synchronicity. The Memorial Foundation has been waiting for this chance at the unit designed to defeat them. The one that reminds them of everything they can't have. She's drowning, but her fingers are still reaching, still holding the dying gravity well. The true enemy of the fast-approaching autonomous defense units. Unlike the ship south, they are designed with more in mind. As Halamede said, the easiest option is to just kill us. The option they're always most eager to take. No wonder they felt the ship south program was just a fanciful indulgence. They are surprised then when Saturn tears them to pieces. Huh, I guess you were right. From how unsure you were, you made it sound like it was going to be a lot harder. Pluto, you've been a good influence on her. Like how I've been a bad one. We're really suited for a hopeless wound like that, aren't we? Thanks, Saturn. It'll just be a little longer. Don't ignore my nonsense. When this is over, I'm not gonna forget it. Sure, you can tease me all you want if you win. You're not very inspiring. It'll be super inspiring if we win, so let's do that first. Saturn poisons the water. She corrupts the information. What washes over Pluto is muddy, pink, toxic, and definitely bad for you. At least it doesn't want to eat you alive in the name of love. It just wants to mess you up in a good way, and let you mess it up too. The destabilization has gone successfully so far, and the gravity well is diminished in a week, and dying fast. That's okay though. It's enough for a little wish. The greatest trick is to just move 1 inch forward. The only trick. Change the physics by decimal points. In a secret place where they won't notice, equivalent to inventing a new Earth is changing the acceleration due to gravity by 0.01 meters per second squared. That is something that is impossible. Even with the gravity well, the Earth is the Earth, and it will bind everything to it. Except there is a nearby body, in perfect sync, inseparable and distinct, and through its orbit, its tides influence in subtle ways the light of Earth. I understand now. This is something I want too. You coming up with this idea is just the worst. Why couldn't you just be a bad person with bad ideas and wicked dreams? And it's impossible now. Who would want to give up the moon for the Earth? If we lose, we'll really look like idiots, and we'll live alone on a lifeless moon. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. The moon is abandoned too, unless you can bring it into such inseparable closeness. No, stop convincing me. This sucks. I still hate you, but fine. Live on the moon, away from me, forever. Losulki shuts the valve. Earth rips around inside her. But the gravity well, already compromised, begins to glow to life again. For a little bit longer, Earth can't touch it, can't shut it down. Left to its own devices, the gravity well will bring all things together. Of all the fabulous dream tech of the Memorial Foundation International Space Program, the gravity well, which brings together matter, light, and culture, is the strongest execution of their dream. And a pathetically mistaken one, too. The gravity well brings things closer until they pass through the event horizon, and then can never return to the universe again. The limit where even information can't return. Whether it's a good universe or a terrible one, Lunaterra doesn't intend to find out. She's hopelessly attached to this universe. What do we want? What we do want is to get a little closer. But you said you could find a way to be happy in any kind of future. I think that only works if we try really hard to make it not suck first. See? She gets it. No, it's not like I think it won't work. If the gravity well is sufficiently strong, it is true, to lead away at the tidal forces of the Earth. The math is like the gravitational forces of the Earth will change somewhere in the billionths place. How about the hundredths? It's definitely super impossible. I think we can move the center of gravity between the Earth and Moon. We pull a little, then we pull a lot. We pull until our bodies fall apart. I think we can get a shift in the hundredth place and bring a little bit of what we made here back home. It's very generous kindness. Also, an extremely petty act of revenge. Yes, I want to pay the price. And they should pay it too. Should never expect me to choose a boring future. I didn't come here to be bored. And I didn't come here to be realistic. Don't think I'd give it up for love either. But I'm not an idiot. All these dreams are meaningful because I'm still human. There's no way to have everything I want, so I have to choose half. Which is so unfair, you know? I'd rather lose everything trying than get a choice like that. It's a hard choice too, and the hardest. My human half is so easy to throw out, and so difficult to treasure. Who will be tender with it? Who will see its value? Who will make it powerful? Not me, that's for sure. I can't do something like that. If all of you can, you've got a lot of work left. It'll be hard. I know it's already been much harder for the two of you. Together, we argue for the value. Let the contamination and change in our bodies grow and thrive. If you want Earth to be our garden, let's poison it. It will never be the same after we seduce them. Lunaterra doesn't hear the alarm. Her body knows exactly when it's supposed to wake up, and she does. She doesn't have to wake up this early anymore, but her body has a hard time letting her go back to sleep. She wakes up, tries to focus her eyes. Her head hurts just a little, so she thinks she'll go ahead and make coffee. Except Saturn's arm is tugging at her shirt, and Pluto's legs are tangled up in hers. So maybe she can't make coffee just yet. She worms out of the comforter as much as she can. The apartment's summer air conditioning keeps things nice and cool, but the summers here are hot, and so are the girls. Maybe if she tries really hard, she can go back to sleep, but it's hard. It's always hard, with the sun still there, but especially with the hum of the AC and everyone's slow breathing and the light shiver of sweat. Hey dude, wake up. Hey, don't pull me back into bed. Pluto, stop her. But I want to see who wins. You're the one who wants to make breakfast, and you made me wake her up. Don't act like it's not your problem. One of you were up when I was up, so it's time to sleep forever. That's what I said. Also, you're clearly awake, so let go. No, Pluto. I'm making breakfast. I already turned on the stove. It's fine. It'll just burn the house down. Help me stop Saturn. Okay. You traitor! You betrayed yourself! Ooh. That's enough out of you. Come get some coffee, Lunacy, before you get a headache over it. You're really such a fake. It's for serious. It's you. You switch sides really easily. So do you. Up again. Alright, you're helping me make some breakfast. What? How come she gets to sleep in? She'll be right behind us. She was. Lunaterra shivered for a second, bare under the AC. Then she got up. She turned the lights canceling off on the window. She turned the light canceling off on the window. And the day, which will still last for the rest of the month, or day, which she can feel a minute of, before she wants to get breakfast too. On the near side of the moon, the Earth will always be visible. Without the hands of her old body, she won't ever be able to fly or field of view as anything but a picture of her again. Even the memories are fading. But the moon is closer. So close that there's almost no difference between it and the Earth. It's another country. A strange country. And the Earth is too. Achievement unlocked. Moving the decimal place and necklace of storms. That was nice. I liked that. Huh. Well, it has been 3.5 hours. Whoa. Oh, no. I hope that did not reveal any information. Thank you everyone for stopping by. My throat is dead. Tomorrow is schedule day, so I will... I can't say what the plans for the rest of this week are yet. I'll decide when I'm making the schedule. But thank you for coming by. I'm gonna end for now. I'm gonna go get something to eat and go take a shower. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.